Live from Maverick Center in West Valley City, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the second of a three-game series as the Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Gladiators. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. We're going to have a ton of fun here tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Gladiators for the fourth time this season. Utah's looking for their first victory against the Gladiators as Utah is 0-2-1 against Atlanta this season. On Wednesday night, the Gladiators got off to a quick start as Isaac Walter scored 59 seconds in, and then Carson Denemy scored 16-19 into the first. The Gladiators took a 1-0 lead after one period. Christian Felton got Utah on the board, 4:31 into the second period with Danny Genev and Griffin Ness getting the assists. Really, the big difference in the game was Atlanta scoring 2 goals in a 15-second stretch. Ryan Nolan scored 9:12 in, and then Louis Boudon scored 9:27 in to make it a 4-1 Atlanta lead. Grizzlies scored a shorthanded goal late in the second period as Luke Manning on a backhand feed to the middle of the ice found Evan Friesen, and Friesen fired a stick side past Ethan Hyder. That made it a 4-2 game. Atlanta made it 5-2 as Isaac Walter scored a second of the night from the left wing, 1:25 in. Grizzlies got a power play goal with 59 seconds left in regulation as Luke Salem got his first in a Utah uniform. He had 6 goals last season with the Kalamazoo Wings. Genev and Ness each picked up their second assist of the night. 15 seconds after Salem's goal, it was Ryan Francis scoring the empty netter for the Gladiators, and that made it a 6-3 game. And that's where it ended up as the Gladiators, they've been an outstanding team so far this year. Their record goes to 15-5. Grizzlies record right now is at 9-11-2. Utah did win the special teams battle on Wednesdays. The Grizz were 1 for 6 on the power play, and they were a perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. And obviously, Evan Friesen had the shorthanded goal in the second period. Watch out for Danny Genev. He's been unbelievable. He's got 7 assists in his last 4 games. Now about Griffin Ness. He also has 3 multiple-point games as he has 2 goals and 4 assists in his last 3 games. So Utah's looking for a little bit of revenge. It's going to be interesting to see the shot count here tonight. The Grizzlies have been outstanding in terms of getting a high volume of shots. Utah outshot Atlanta 31-15 on Wednesday night. The Grizzlies over the last 7 games have averaged 35.8 shots per game. Grizzlies right now are 6th in the league in shots per game at 31.9 per contest. And the Atlanta Gladiators have been in the middle of the road in terms of shots for and shots against. Well, it should be a fun one here tonight. If you're in the area, come on out and join us as we got some good seats available. Don't forget that tomorrow night is the Grizzlies' annual teddy bear toss. Make sure to bring some stuffed animals and new and unused teddy bears to throw on the ice after Utah's first goal. It's certainly going to be a festive atmosphere. If I remember right, the Grizzlies are going to be wearing a specialty jersey for the occasion as they're going to be wearing their annual ugly sweater, a Christmas-themed uniform. Well, when we come back, we'll talk about who's been hot as of late. We mentioned Danny Genev and Griffin Ness. Both of those forwards have been unbelievable for the Grizzlies over the last 3 weeks. Goaltending matchup tonight, it's a different one. It's going to be Dylan Wells getting the start in net for Utah. He leads the club with 5 victories on the season. And for the Atlanta Gladiators, it's TJ Semptenfelter, who's got a record of 7-3 and a .940 save percentage on the season. Well, we'll come back and talk about who's been hot as of late as we're about 16 minutes away from face-off here at Maverick Center. We're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 15 minutes from now as the Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Gladiators. It's the fourth meeting this season between the clubs. Grizzlies are 0-2-1 against Atlanta, and should be a fun one as we got a good goaltending matchup of Dylan Wells for the Grizzlies and TJ Semptenfelter for the Atlanta Gladiators. Well, the Grizzlies have had some outstanding performers as of late. You got to think about Danny Genev. What an unbelievable playmaker he's been with Utah this season. He has 7 assists in his last 4 games. He's got 2 assists in each of his last 3 games. And this is the Grizzlies' 5th game in the month of December. And Danny Genev, who had an outstanding month of November, he led the Grizzlies in shots and points in November, and he just carried it over. Genev has 20 points this season, 5 goals and 15 assists. He now leads all league rookies in points, and he also leads all league rookies with 15 assists. Genev has a point in 10 of his last 12 games. He's been a high-volume shooter. He is second among league rookies with 74 shots, which obviously leads the Grizzlies. He has 3 or more shots in 10 of his last 13 games, and he also leads Utah with 6 multiple-point games on the season. So what can you say about Danny Genev? He's done just about everything for the Grizzlies. He has 6 power play points as well, which ties him with Aiden Hansen-Bukata for the club lead. How about we mentioned Griffin Ness during the last segment. Ness also has 3 straight multiple-point games, 2 goals and 4 assists. He has 7 points in his last 5 games, 3 goals and 4 assists. Luke Manning's been outstanding lately. He's got 3 assists in his last 2 games. He's certainly been a strong frontline center for the Grizzlies. On the back end, Christian Felton has a current 3-game point scoring streak, 1 goal and 2 assists. He does have 2 goals in 3 games against the Gladiators. Utah will be a little bit shorthanded once again as Jack Ricketts is missing his 2nd straight game due to an illness, and Neil Shea, unfortunately, is unable to go for the 2nd straight game due to a lower body injury. Grizzlies are also going to be without Cooper Gay, who made his Grizzlies debut on Wednesday. Gay had not played in a game this season up until Wednesday, so this might be as much of a rehab assignment, if you will, than anything else. Hopefully we'll see Gay on Saturday during the Grizzlies teddy bear toss tonight, but the Grizzlies do get a couple key players back who had missed some time due to injury. The captain, Tyler Gratton, is back in the Grizzlies lineup. He had a point in 6 of his 8 games in November. He missed the last 6 games due to an upper body injury, so it's certainly great to have the captain, Tyler Gratton, back. Gratton has a point in 10 of 16 games this season and 8 points in 8 games in November, 3 goals and 5 assists. And Noah Gansky's also back as he will appear in a game for the first time since the next to last week in November. Remember, he got hurt in the first of that 2-game series in Tulsa. I think that was the November 21st game. It was an upper body injury, and so he's been out for a while, and it's great to have Noah Gansky back, the big 6'7", 205-pound defenseman. Gansky has 1 goal and 2 assists and an even plus-minus rating in 13 games. Gansky spent the last couple years with the Fort Wayne Comets. So it's great to have Gansky back in the Grizzlies lineup tonight. And Utah will have 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. Luke Salem will be acting as a forward once again for John Buchanan's crew. Daniel Amesbury is out once again. We do believe that has to do something with the lacrosse team that he had been with for the last couple months, and I think there was just some commitments there that he had to make to that club. Christoph Filion, unfortunately, is out of the lineup due to an injury, and so Filion will be sidelined tonight, and unfortunately, Avery Winslow is also out of the Grizzlies lineup. So Utah will be a little bit shorthanded, and they will be without some key players, but obviously these are the type of games where other players will have to step up. And we have seen that on a few occasions. You think back to one of the games in the Tulsa series where the Grizzlies had 15 skaters, and one of them was J.C. Campagna, who had not played all year. And the Grizzlies stepped up and played a great game that night, and I imagine we're going to see a similar fate. And with that in mind, I think my pick to click is going to be Stepan Timofeyev, who had 2 goals and 1 assist last Saturday in a 6-3 victory over the Allen Americans. One of the interesting things about the final score over the last 3 games, the final score has been 6-3. The Grizzlies were on the winning note last Saturday in Allen, and unfortunately they had 2 6-3 losses, one against Allen last Friday, and then Wednesday night here in the series opener at Maverick Center against the Atlanta Gladiators. When we come back, we'll go over the lineups for both teams. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Atlanta Gladiators, who are led by first-year head coach Matt Ginn. The assistant coach is Zach Vinnell. The team president is Jared Youngman. Gladiators come in with a record of 15-5. They are 6-3 on the road this season. Getting the start in net is TJ Semptenfelter. He's a 6'1", 190-pound goaltender. In 10 games, he has a 7-3 record with a 1.59 goals against average and .940 save percentage. Semptenfelter has an AHL contract with the Milwaukee Admirals. He's a native of Marlton, New Jersey. Last year, he played at the University of North Dakota. The backup goaltender is Wednesday's winner, Ethan Hyder. Getting the start defensively for the Gladiators include Chad Nychuk, who's a plus 15 this season. He has 3 goals and 14 assists, and he'll be paired up with Jack Mateer, who has 1 goal in 9 games. Mateer has an NHL contract with the Nashville Predators. So it's Nychuk and Mateer. That's the starting defensive pairing. You'll see Ryan Conroy paired up with Brendan Less. Andrew Jarvis is paired up with Jack Robilotti. As the Gladiators made 2 lineup switches with their defensive unit. Les and Robilotti are in, and out is Anthony Furiolo and Zach Yoder. Starting forwards for the Gladiators include Alex Young, the second-year pro. He has 7 goals and 11 assists and a plus 11 rating in 20 games. Ryan Nolan had 1 goal and 1 assist on Wednesday night. He has 6 goals and 7 assists in 20 games. And Ryan Francis has 3 goals and 6 assists and a plus 3 rating in 20 games. So that's the starting forwards, Francis, Young, and Nolan. We will see Cody Sylvester, the Gladiators captain, matched up with Louis Boudon, who had 1 goal and 1 assist on Wednesday. Isaac Walter was Wednesday's number 1 star as he had 2 goals and 1 assist. Kalen Lind is the third-line left wing. He's got an NHL deal with Nashville. Joey Cipollone and Carson Denemy are on that third forward line. Cipollone's the center, Denomi the right wing. Fourth forward line from left to right for Atlanta includes Mickey Burns, Ethan Scardina, and Peter Morgan. So it's going to be a tough test for the Grizzlies as the Gladiators are allowing just 2 goals per game. They've allowed 40 goals in 20 games this season. So they've gotten it done on the defensive side of things. Gladiators average 3.3 goals per game. Now let's go over the lineup for the homestanding Utah Grizzlies, who are led by first-year head coach John Buchanan. The assistant coaches are Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilley. Director of hockey operations is Eric Hudson. Athletic trainer is Brooke Timony, and the equipment manager is DJ McFarland. Miles is the assistant equipment manager. Getting the start in net is Dylan Wells. This will be his 13th appearance this season. Wells has a record of 5-5-2 with 1 shutout. He has a 3.59 goals against average and .890 save percentage. Wells, a former 5th-round pick of the Edmonton Oilers, and that was back in 2016. Kyle Kaiser is the backup. Casimir Cassiasuo is the third goaltender. Defensively, Grizzlies are happy to have Robbie Stucker back. It's the start of his second stint as a Grizzly. Stucker was with Utah during the second half of the 2023-24 season. In 24 games, he had 9 assists and 16 penalty minutes. Last year, Stucker played in 4 games with Orlando and 46 games with Reading. Last year with Reading, he had 1 goal and 16 assists. This season in 17 games with Reading, he had 1 goal and 4 assists and a +2 rating. He was acquired a couple days ago in a trade for Ty Voigt. So Stucker's going to be a starter. He's wearing number 4 this season. 2 years ago with the Grizzlies, he wore number 40. Stucker will be paired up with Noah Gansky, who's back after missing about 3 weeks worth of action. It's certainly great to have Gansky back in a Utah uniform. He is 6'7" and 209 pounds, and he has 1 goal and 2 assists in 13 games. So Stucker and Gansky are the starting defensive pairing. We also see Sage Weinstein paired up with Christian Felton. Aiden Hansen-Bukata, who leads all Grizzly defensemen with 11 assists. He is paired up with Colby Enns. Utah is going with 6 defensemen, although they are going with 7 by trade, as Luke Salem will be acting as a forward. Defensive scratches for the Grizzlies tonight include Avery Winslow, and I think that's the only defenseman that's out of the Grizzlies lineup that's on the current roster. Now let's get to the starting forwards for the Grizzlies. It's the top forward line on John Buchanan's lineup card. The captain, Tyler Bratton, is back on the left wing. He has 4 goals and 9 assists in 16 games. He missed the last 6 games due to an upper body injury. Luke Manning's also in the starting lineup. He's a starting center. He has 3 assists in his last 2 games. And Reed Lepster's also in there. He leads Utah with 10 goals, and he also is tied for the league lead with 4 game-winning goals on the season. So Bratton, Manning, and Lepster are the starting forward line. That's the top forward line on the Grizzlies lineup card. Second forward line from left to right is Evan Friesen with Riley Connors and Maxim Barbashev. Barbashev, the brother of the Vegas Golden Knights forward Ivan Barbashev. Third forward line is Danny Juniev with Griffin Ness and Stepan Timofeyev. That 3-man unit has certainly been very productive for the Grizzlies over the last couple weeks. John Gillette's on the fourth forward line with Luke Salem. Forward scratches for the Grizzlies include Neil Shea, Christoph Filion, Daniel Amesbury, as well as Jack Ricketts and Cooper Gay. Risby's at center ice, and he's waving the flag. He's certainly thrilled to hear his name called by PA announcer Mark Larson. Now let's hear the Grizzlies starting lineup from PA announcer Mark Larson.
Number 4, Robbie Stucker. On defense, wearing number 21, Noah Gansky. At forward, wearing number 16, Luke Manning. At forward, wearing number 23, Reed Lepster. At forward, wearing number 59, Tyler Bratton. And protecting our goal tonight, wearing number 32, Dylan Well. The Grizzlies are led by head coach John Buchanan, assistant coaches Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilly, athletic trainer Brooke Timoney, and equipment manager DJ McFarland.
So that's the starting lineup for the Grizzlies, who are wearing a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. The Atlanta Gladiators are wearing a black jersey, white numbers, white lettering in the back, and light blue trim, light blue on the shoulders. There is a certain NHL team that wears those colors, although I can promise you that it's not the same, as they are wearing the colors of the Atlanta Knights, who played in the International Hockey League for 5 seasons from 1992 through 1994. The Knights ended up winning an IHL Turner Cup in 1994, and then the Grizzlies won the next 2 years in the IHL in 1995 and 96. Grizzlies and the Admirals coming up next, but we'll have our national anthem. The colors presented by West High School Navy JROTC.
Now, please rise and remove your caps for the play of our national anthem, performed tonight by the American Preparatory Academy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red, the bombs bursting in air, yet proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. But Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as Utah Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Gladiators in the second of a three-game series. Fourth meeting this year between the Grizzlies and Gladiators, and Utah certainly is up for a tough test tonight as the Gladiators are one of the best teams in the league with a record of 15-5. They are 6-3 on the road. For the Grizzlies, they are 9-11-2 so far this season. They've been a pretty strong road club, but they're looking to get things done here on home ice. Got a good goaltending matchup tonight. Dylan Wells, the former fifth-round pick of the Grizzlies and the Edmonton Oilers in 2016. He's got a 5-5-2 record with one shutout and an .890 save percentage. There's Ryan Anderson acting, though John Mechanic is behind the bench. Anderson, assistant coach, he's running the defensive core. John Mechanic is behind the bench. He wasn't behind the bench with an illness on Wednesday night. And there's John Mechanic talking with referee Emil Sharon. Linesmen are Tyler Kesson and Craig Peterson. TJ Semptenfelter played against the Grizzlies on October 19th and picked up a victory. Semptenfelter's got an AHL contract with Milwaukee. He's a Marlton, New Jersey native. Grizzlies will start out with a forward line of Tyler Gratton, the Grizzlies captain, along with Luke Manning and Reed Webster. As Manning will take the opening draw, Noah Gansky and Robbie Stucker, the starting defensive pairing, as Stucker was acquired in a trade just a couple days ago from the Reading Royals. Alex Young will take the draw for Atlanta. Puck is dropped by Sharon, and we're underway. Grizzlies win the faceoff. They skate from right to left as we see it from high top section 114. As Gansky will slide it in. Gansky's on an A on the front of his white sweater. As Gansky and Manning are wearing the A's, and Tyler Gratton's the Grizzlies captain. Scramble along the right corner of the Gladiators zone. Puck is pushed up top. Stucker will take a righty shot that goes wide. Stucker, a former seventh-round pick by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Puck goes back to center ice. Gansky will fire back in as he comes off the ice after his first shift. It was about a 30-second shift. Bukata and Enns are on the ice. Puck goes towards Hanson Bukata. Now it's drifted towards him from Evan Friesen. Bukata lets it go as it goes deep into the Gladiators zone. Atlanta wearing a black jersey, white numbers, white lettering, and a little bit of light blue mixed in, as that was the colors of the Atlanta Knights back in the early to mid-1990s. Isaac Walter, Wednesday night's hero, gets the center ice, no dumping in. He had 2 goals and 1 assist for the Gladiators, and he's a big guy. Walter goes 6'4", 205, but he looks bigger than that. Pass up the middle of the ice to Friesen. Glance up his stick. Friesen gathers it in the right wing. He's in the offensive zone, dangling back and forth. He feeds a hot pass to Barbashev, who will skate towards the right point. Barbashev cycles it back to the spot he vacated. Riley Connors battles with Chad Nychuk. Nychuk shields Utah from the puck. Now he throws it behind his own net. The Gladiators get it towards Brendan Less. Less did not play on Wednesday night. Less is more as he dumps it in. Puck goes towards the far corner. Luke Salem acting as a forward gets it ahead. Now back towards Christian Felton in his first shift of the game. He backhands it towards Luke Salem. Puck is tapped back towards Felton. He's in the Grizzlies zone, far circle. As Felton dancing around, he will feed airborne. Puck bounces towards the Atlanta line. Left side, Salem with a shot, and that's blocked by Jack Robillati, number 3. And like Les, Rebelati did not play on Wednesday's game as Atlanta, believe it or not, traveled all 5 of their extra players. They've got 5 scratches who are in the building tonight. It's rare to see an ECHL team literally travel everybody on the roster, but the Gladiators did so this week. Rebelati will tattoo it off the near wing boards. Cipollone has a glance off his stick. Racing in is Kalen Lind, who's got an NHL contract, and he backhands it high. The Gladiators are affiliated with the Nashville Predators and the Milwaukee Admirals. As Danny Genev, the leading rookie scorer in the league, he gets back-checked by Cipollone. Puck slides back towards Grizzlies' ice. Peter Morgan, right wing, skates around Wells' net. Morgan will tap it off a stick. It goes towards a high slot. And Timofeyev will brush it out to center ice right wing. Griffin S drops it for Genev. Genev over the offensive line. Cyrus it to Timofeyev. Righty shot. Save. Rebound shot. No, Ness didn't have much of a shooting angle along the far goal line. As Timofeyev gets back-checked and gets held up from behind. As the puck goes back towards the middle of the ice, glance off a couple of sticks. Now it's cleared back to center ice. And Colby Enns will whip it back in. We played about 3 minutes, no score. Grizzlies have 1 shot. Atlanta is yet to fire away officially on Wells. Atlanta throws to the middle of the ice. Scardina, they'll take a righty shot. Saved by Wells. And he'll keep the play alive. Boy, pass down the middle of the ice, and Scardina had a break away from the offensive blue line in down the middle, and Wells made a key save. Both teams have 1 shot. Wells with a great effort to keep it a scoreless game. Ryan Francis gets pushed to the boards by Webster. As now Manning behind Atlanta's net. Skates towards the nearest side as he shields Atlanta from the puck. Centering pass. Grattan lefty shot goes wide. Grattan's back after missing 6 straight games with an upper body injury. Atlanta globes it back into the Grizzlies zone, and icing is on Atlanta as we get a whistle with 16:28 left in the first. Where's your pick to click? Who's going to have a big game for the Grizzlies? I think that's a tough decision, but I'm going to go with, I could be stating the obvious and going with Danny Genev. Everybody else would. I'm going to go with Tyler Grattan. In his first game back from an injury, I think Grattan's going to have a big one. He was outstanding in the month of November. So you think it's going to be the star of the game for the Grizzlies tonight? Utah's looking for their 3rd victory on home ice. Manning will take the draws out there with Webster and Grattan. Both teams have 1 shot here early on. Atlanta wins the draw as Brendan Less will feed it behind his net. Ryan Conroy was impressive on Wednesday night. He'll shovel it ahead as puck goes back towards Conroy. He'll skate down the middle of the ice. He gets around Manning, crosses center ice, steps of the offensive blue, high slot. His lefty shot is chipped off the stick of Tyler Grattan, and it flies out of play off the protective netting. 16:10 left in the first, and the draw is going to be back in the Grizzlies zone. Shot count certainly going to be interesting for the Grizzlies tonight. Over the last 7 games, Grizzlies have averaged 35.8 shots per game. And on Wednesday night, the Grizzlies outshot the Gladiators 31-15. Riley Connors in his 2nd game with the Grizzlies this season. He spent the first month and a half of the year with the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and he had 2 goals in 8 games. Atlanta wins the draw. Francis high slot. His righty shot goes wide. Ryan Nolan, not to be confused with strikeout king Nolan Ryan, feeds to the far side. Grizzlies sweep it back to center ice. And it's teed up and driven in back by Andrew Jarvis, number 6 of Atlanta, one of 6 defensemen for Matt Ginn's crew tonight. As Ryan Nolan will backhand it ahead. It goes off a Grizzly skate. Hanson Mukata will sweep it back towards the left wing. Puck flips high into the air. It's gloved and dropped in the near circle of the Grizzly zone by AHB. He'll feed it ahead. Left wing to Friesen. He'll skate towards the left circle. Friesen gets taken off the puck by Mateer. Mateer throws down Friesen as he hits the ice. Now Mateer and Friesen collide. Gladiators will race out to neutralize with the puck. Up ahead looking for Chad Nychuk, and it's over Led Frem. And icing is on the Gladiators with 15:26. That's the time remaining in this first period. Well, we know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. We thank everybody for choosing the Grizzlies tonight. No doubt that page 1 in the sports section, if there is still such a thing as a newspaper, would be Kyle Whittingham. The longtime Utah Utes head coach is retiring. He will coach the Utes in the bowl game on New Year's Eve against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So that's certainly the big story locally in sports, and everybody's been buzzing about that here at Maverick Center tonight. Luke Manning will take the draw. Manning played his college hockey at Air Force and St. Thomas. Draw won by Atlanta after it glanced up a couple sticks. Manning pushes a Gladiator towards the boards, and that's Shaq Mateer, who's got an NHL contract with Nashville. See Gladiators push it back up top. Stucker can't run it down until he gets to neutral ice. Robbie Stucker was number 40 for the Grizzlies 2 years ago. He had 9 assists in 24 games. He'll move it ahead to John Gillette, but the pass goes incomplete, and icing is on the Grizzlies with 15:03 left in the first. Quite a few roster moves that were made this week. Hey, the Grinch is in attendance. He's sitting in the front row, section 109. Grinch having a good time. I kind of feel like a Grinch every Christmas. Christmas party? Nah, I'd rather just sit at home. So Manning will take the draw once again for the Grizzlies. We're about 5 minutes in. Both teams have one shot. Atlanta wins the draw. Shot by Walters blocked. As Stucker holds up a Gladiator. Gansky delivers some push as he gives some lumber to a Gladiator. Manning looks nearby. So does John Gillette. As Gansky continues to get physical on a Gladiator. Puck goes up top. Atlanta slides it towards Mateer. High slide. His righty shot is blocked by John Gillette, the rookie out of Holy Cross. Luke Salem will backhand it off the glass. Gillette looked to run it down at center ice, but it goes out of play in the Grizzlies bench. As a Grizzly looking for the puck. Brooke Timoney trying to locate where it is. Somebody's going to get a frozen, vulcanized rubber disc if they can spot it. Right now it's in the bench area. Draw's going to come back into the Grizzlies zone. Manning will take the face-off once again in an extended shift. He's going up against Louis Boudon, who's had an outstanding year for the Gladiators. Draw one by the Grizzlies. Now Atlanta takes it over in the far corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. As Sylvester trying to sweep it in, the Atlanta captain. He gets denied. Now Sylvester gets it back and feeds up top. Brendan Less rolls along the boards. Griffin Ness behind Utah's net. Gets the puck, skates towards the far corner. Gets head towards Timo Feyev. Timo, diagonal pass to the middle of the ice. Is picked off by Less. There was no Grizzly in the area. Sylvester collides with Ness. Ness hits the ice. Atlanta has a glance off the stick towards the Utah line. As a Gladiator pushes down Sage Weinstein, the 20-year-old. Timo Feyev races across center ice. Puck is lofted over Genev's head. Denemy gets it towards Lind in the left side. Lind looking for a centering pass. It goes on towards Wells, who sticks it away. Over in the far corner, Griffin Ness delivers a push on a Gladiator, and that's Joey Cipolone, number 71. Felton gets the puck. He's an outstanding skater. I'll move it to his left for Genev. Danny Genev races horizontally towards right wing, drops it off, right point, shot, save, rebound, shot. Oh, that one's blocked by Robolotti's backside on an attempt by Timo Feyev from the left circle. Atlanta with a diagonal dump in towards the far corner. Colby Enns gets blasted by Kalen Lind. As Grizzlies, Timo Feyev, he'll push it up ice as Gratton chases after it. Gratton along the end boards. He gets hit. Oh, but Jarvis crashes along the boards as Tyler Gratton did a good job avoiding the check. Deep into the Grizzlies zone, Mickey Burns runs it down, number 7. He gets held up by Colby Enns. AHB will get it ahead towards Gratton. Gratton, the second-year pro, played with Reading last year when he was a teammate with Robbie Stucker last season with the Royals. As Lepser gets cut off at the Atlanta line by Jack Mateer. The Gladiators out to center ice. Mickey Burns ahead towards Scardina, but the Gladiators are offside, so play stops with 12:56 left in the first. Both teams have 2 shots. Nobody's found the back of the net as of yet. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Twelve minutes, 56 seconds left in the first period. Draws going to be near the Grizzlies bench. No score. Both teams have 2 shots. There was one breakaway as Ethan Scardina had a good look down the middle of the ice, and he was denied by Dylan Wells. Many games across the league. Certainly a lot of fun action. 2 games in the National Hockey League tonight. Atlanta wins the draw. They'll bounce it off of Friesen as Chad Nychuk trying to shovel it in from center ice. Now at the Atlanta line, they push it ahead off the stick. It slides deep into the far corner of the Grizzlies zone. As Scardina runs it down, he gets our stride ahead of Stucker. Gladiators reverse it back to the right side. Jack Mateer fakes a shot, skates towards the right goal line. Nice, centered out in front. Now Scardina righty shot, and that's blocked by the stick of Friesen. Back up top. Atlanta gets across. Mickey Burns, right side, lefty shot, saved by Wells, and he gathers it in front of the crease. Boy, Atlanta tried to crash the net. Peter Morgan in particular. Good job by Noah Gansky to box him out. Wells makes a stop as Atlanta's up to 4 shots here as there's 12:25 on a frozen clock in the first period. Grizzlies so far have one shot from Reed Webster and Stepan Timofeyev. Timofeyev was a star on Saturday night in the Grizzlies' 6-3 victory over Atlanta. Oddly enough, each of the last 3 Grizzlies games have had a 6-3 final, with Utah winning one of the 3. Luke Salem will take the draw, normally a defenseman, but he's acting as a forward tonight. Salem in his second full season as a pro. Draw won by Atlanta as the Gladiators get pushed towards the right corner by Felton. Puck slides behind Utah's net. Weinstein behind his back, feeds it towards the far wing boards. Webster gets there about the same time as Jack Matier. And now Salem gets the puck as he's out there with Gillette and Webster as Weinstein delivers a push on a Gladiator. And I think that was Ryan Nolan, number 24. Gillette battles with Matier along the near wing boards. Gillette trying to break free as Ryan Francis behind Utah's net chases after it. But Reed Webster, the second-year pro, he'll helicopter it ahead to center ice. It bounced off the glove of Ryan Nolan. A Gladiator played it, and so it was played with a high stick or a hand pass. And so draw's going to be at neutral ice in Gladiators territory near dot. So Utah will switch up skaters who've been skating 5-on-5 this entire time. Utah did win the special teams battle on Wednesday. They were 1 for 6 on the power play and 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Utah's penalty kill is 15 for 15 over the last 4 games. Ness will take the draw. He's got 3 straight multiple-point games, 2 goals and 4 assists in his last 3 contests. He's second on the club with 5 multiple-point games this season. As Danny Geneva also has 3 multiple-point games. He's on the ice. Atlanta gets the puck. Racing across center ice, veering off to the left is Ryan Conroy, and he'll backhand it in. Conroy cuts in front of Colby Enns as he boxes him out along the boards. Grizzlies come out with the puck as Ness will tattoo it towards Geneva. Danny Geneva will brush it ahead. Left wing, as Timofeyev gets it knifed away by Brendan Less. Geneva gets double team behind Atlanta's net. Timofeyev delivers a push towards the boards on a Gladiator. Brendan Less dangling back and forth, gets the right wing. He'll dump it in. He did so from Gladiators territory, but no icing on the play. So the Gladiators will hit the refresh button and get 5 fresh skaters on the ice. We played about 9 minutes, no score. Atlanta's outshot Utah 4-2. Just the start of things, so grab some chips and dip in a beverage of your choice and enjoy part of Friday with us. Grattan dumps into the left corner as Manning gets pushed by Jack Robilotti. Grattan delivers some lumber on the Robilotti. Sylvester hanging out as well. Sylvester, one of the best players in Gladiators history. Puck brushes up top towards Stucker, dangles back and forth. Blue line near his feet. He gets it towards Webster. He gets around one Gladiator. Webster, he'll take a righty shot. Saved by Semptenfelter. Grattan looking for the rebound. He gets held up by Robilotti. Now right side dancing around is Luke Manning. He fires lefty shot that goes wide as he was falling down. As Webster towards the left corner, gets around Robilotti, feeds it out in front looking for Manning. It glanced up his stick. And the Gladiators moving out towards center ice. 2-on-2, Isaac Walter down the middle. Gets around Gansky. Righty shot, and he scores. Public enemy number 1 among Grizzlies fans' eyes is Isaac Walter. That is his 5th goal against Utah this season. Had 2 goals and 1 assist on Wednesday. He was being shadowed by Gansky. Walter just kind of veered about a step towards his right and fired it past Dylan Wells. Yes, he fired it right under the right arm of Wells. And I don't know if there's been any opponent that's played as well against the Grizzlies this year as Isaac Walter. He had 2 goals on October 19th in Atlanta on a Sunday afternoon, and then 2 goals, 1 assist on Wednesday. And Walter gets the Gladiators on the board. Time of goal, 9:39 in. The assists go to Cody Sylvester and Louis Boudon. Boudon's up to 16 assists to lead the Gladiators this year. Christian Felton deep in the Grizzlies zone, dancing around to the near corner as he gets some lumber from Cipollone. As Kalen Lynn gets challenged by Weinstein. As Felton brushed it ahead about 10 feet towards Friesen. Now Lynn takes it away. Gets ahead to Cipollone, is challenged by Felton. Puck off the stick to the far corner. As Connors gets hit from behind by Cipollone. And the Grizzlies obviously want to regain momentum in this next couple shifts. Atlanta gets up top. Gladiators get it towards Matier. High slot is righty shots blocked about 5 feet in front of Wells. Puck towards the near side as Evan Friesen races out to center ice. Grizzlies 3-on-2 if they want it. Friesen over the offensive line, but the Grizzlies are offside as Friesen was skating horizontally to get around a Gladiator, and Barbashev in the left wing entered the zone before Friesen came in with the puck. 9:31 left in the first period. Isaac Walter now has 10 goals on the season, and as we mentioned, 5 are against the Grizzlies. And it's Walter's 21st game this year. Walter last season played with the University of Vermont, native of Sweden. Draw one by the Grizzlies. Handsome Bukata at center ice. He'll fire it in. Puck slides towards the right corner. Grattan delivers a push on Conroy. Conroy not very big at 5'9", 185 pounds. Now right side, Gillette shot saved by Semptenfelter. Rebound goes towards Scardina. He'll move it out to center ice. As Mickey Burns dumps it in, Grizzlies push it back to center ice. Atlanta gets it at about 10 feet off of Salem's stick. Grizzlies make a line change. Noah Gansky on the ice. He's out there with Hanson Bukata. Gansky, the former Fort Wayne Comet, gets it across to AHB, back towards Gansky. As Gansky outlets it to center ice off of Geneev's stick right wing. He'll skate in, and he'll chase after the puck. Scardina off his stick as he battles with Timofeyev. Robelati and Les, as Les throws a basketball screen on Ness. Timofeyev down the middle of the ice, has it bounce off his stick. At center ice, Francis is triple teamed. Utah took it away. Gladiators strong in the back check this season. Grizzlies been pretty good in that area as well. Stucker left wings it to Genev. Tried to find a cutting Stucker, but he got his stick lifted by Andrew Jarvis. Jarvis had played in the Mountain Division for a while. As 2-on-2 scrum over in the far wing boards. Ness and Genev over there. AHB. Timofeyev looking nearby. As puck goes towards Atlanta. Ryan Francis, who scored the empty net goal late in regulation, lofts it over Stucker's head. Weinstein runs it down, and he'll bank it off the near boards. Timofeyev crosses center ice down the middle. He's surrounded by three Gladiators. He'll take a righty shot. Glove saved by Semptenfelter, and he holds on. The shot was a low liner. Semptenfelter caught it about ankle high. So an even 8 minutes left in the first period. Both teams have 5 shots, and Isaac Walter found the back of the net, 9:39 in. Where the opposition has scored first this season in a Grizzlies game. Utah's got a record of 3-7-1. I imagine this will be a close game. Utah's 3-2-2 in one-goal games this year, so 7 of the 22 games have been decided by one goal. As action towards the near wing boards in the Gladiator zone. Atlanta out towards center ice. Manning trying to locate it. Walter gets it. And he'll globe it in. Puck towards the left corner. Gladiators spin it around the wall. Tyler Grattan gathers it. He's surrounded by 2 Gladiators. And Grattan just shoveled it ahead about 5 feet and lost control of the puck. As we mentioned on Wednesday, Gladiators are probably as strong on the back check as any team the Grizzlies will face all year. Behind Utah's net, Webster will skate towards the near wall. Survey now bounce one across to Manning at center ice right wing. Manning over the line. Gives it to his left for Webster. Webster backhand shot. Saved by Semptenfelter. Gladiators get it ahead towards Isaac Walter. He's 6'4", but he looks like he's about 6'6". Walter gets pushed by Webster. Webster throws Walter to the boards, and that gets the fans excited. As Evan Friesen gets cut off by Jack Mateer. Mateer's a pretty big guy at 6'6" and 205 pounds. Puck hit the opposite of the Grizzlies zone. Barbashev runs it down to the middle of the ice. And he'll skeet towards the far corner. Layup for Felton. Across the boards, Atlanta gets it. Cipollone has a bounce off Weinstein's stick, and Weinstein moves it ahead. Riley Connors racing across center ice. Connors, the Yell and St. Lawrence product. Skates around Atlanta's net. He's towards the right side. Feeds it out towards the left point. As Gansky moves to the middle of the ice. As Friesen tees it up for Connors, but it's taken away by Atlanta and cleared out to center ice. Good defensive play by Carson Denemy, who had a goal on Wednesday night. Gansky saucer it to Felton along the left wing. Felton will move it ahead from blue line to Connors. Connors tried to advance into the Gladiator zone. It gets cut off by Conroy. Atlanta enters from the right wing 3-on-3 as Lynn spins around the linesman. Now Lynn right side, his lefty shot. That one's blocked away. Might have gotten a piece of Wells. Gillette was in the area. Barbashev near the Grizzlies bench. He gets pushed from behind by Lind. Gladiator Scardina gets around Stucker. Ethan Scardina drops it back to the right point for Robelati, who fires a righty shot wide. Burns behind the net to Scardina. Scardina backhands it out in front. It glanced off a Morgan's stick. Puck goes back behind Utah's net. Salem and Morgan collide. Gansky off his stick as Gillette gets the puck, and he'll bounce one towards the Grizzlies bench. Manning collects it, and he'll throw it ahead towards Salem. Salem gets around Robelati, but Salem falls down, and Robelati comes up with the puck. Atlanta leads 1-0, 5.5 minutes left in the first period. Gladiators have outshot the Grizzlies 6-5. Atlanta moved it ahead. Pass was incomplete, and icing is on Atlanta. So the draw comes back towards TJ Semptenfelter. We mentioned the colors the Gladiators are wearing, and obviously it's identical to what the Utah Mammoth wore, but that was what the Atlanta Knights of the old International Hockey League wore kind of a fun fact about the Knights, they were only around a handful of years, but they won the International Hockey League's Turner Cup in 1994. And then obviously a trivia question is, who won the following 2 years? And the answer is the Utah Grizzlies. Denver Grizzlies, to be exact, won in the 94-95 IHL season, and then they moved to Utah after the Colorado Avalanche showed up to the Denver area, and the Grizzlies won a Turner Cup in their first year here in the Salt Lake Valley. They played at Delta Center. I can't call it old Delta Center. It still exists. Next to the near corner, Genev battles as he's over there with Alex Young. Genev gets the puck. He's a great playmaker. Leads all league rookies with 15 assists. Now Atlanta throws it towards the left wing. Action in the Gladiator zone. AHB off his stick. It goes back to neutral ice. Grizzlies reset as Colby ends at the Utah line. Head to Genev off his stick. He's towards the end of his shift. As Ness comes off, Genev stays out there. Less than 5 minutes left in the first period. Weinstein gets the puck, skates towards the left circle. Now he gets knocked down by Mateer. No call on the play. It almost looked like players from both teams were expecting a penalty, but none to be had. We haven't had a single penalty called so far tonight. 3-on-3. Atlanta over the offensive line. Alex Young, right wing. Teased up for Francis. We get a whistle. And the Gladiators, let's see, is there an offside or is there a penalty? Looked like offside might have been the call. There's 4:37 left in the first. Timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. Isaac Walter scores his fifth against Utah this year, 9:39 in. Atlanta 1, Utah nothing. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Neutral zone draws. There's 4:37 left in the first period. The Grinch is hanging out at Maverick Center. There might be a Santa Claus here as well. Not sure where Santa would be. The Grinch got front row seats. Must have made a deal with the devil to get those spot. As draw one by the Gladiators. Les gets it across. Conroy whips it in. Puck along the boards. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it from high top section 114. As Weinstein skies into the Gladiator zone, no icing, although Semptonfelter raised his left arm, and if he were official, we would have a draw in the Grizzlies zone, but we play on. But Doan out to center ice, Weinstein off his CCM stick. As Gratton gets the puck, he'll drop it back for Weinstein. He'll outlet it to center ice off the stick. Manning towards the middle of the ice, tried to run it down. He lost his stick as he tried to lunge it ahead as Ryan Conroy battled. Now Manning will pick his stick up as it's slinging in the high slot. Atlanta comes out of a 2-on-2 pile with the puck. Less than 4 minutes left in the first period. Gladiators are off to a strong start this season. Sylvester will helicopter into the right corner. Gansky gets it off the wall, and the Gladiators will reshuffle the deck and get 5 fresh skaters on the ice. 3:43 on a moving clock. Atlanta's outshot Utah 6-5, and the Gladiators lead 1-0 on an Isaac Walter goal, 9:39 in. Outlet pass off the near boards as Friesen enters, but Barbashev got pushed into the wall by Andrew Jarvis and got pushed into the Gladiators zone. So the Grizzlies are offside with 3:33 left in the first. Make sure to join us tomorrow. Not only is tomorrow the final game that the Grizzlies will have at home before the Christmas break, but it's also Teddy Bear Toss night. Bring some teddy bears and stuffed animals to throw on the ice after Utah's first goal. It's going to be a festive atmosphere. The Grizzlies will be wearing Christmas-themed specialty jerseys. You're not going to want to miss it. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com for tomorrow's Teddy Bear Toss. Barbashev got knocked down at center ice, and that's going to be a penalty on the Gladiators. Atlanta can't believe it. In fact, Kalen Lind is laughing. He's incredulous. Tripping's going to be the call. I don't even know if I used the word incredulous correctly, but Lind's in the box for 2 minutes. Utah has a power play goal in 13 of their last 16 games. With Jack Ricketts and Neil Shaban out of the lineup for the second straight game. Grizzlies are rolling with a little bit of a different power play unit. It's going to be Timofeyev, Manning, Gratton, as well as Reed Lebster and Aiden Hans-Bukata. That's the party of five for Utah in their power play. Atlanta's four-man penalty kill unit is going to be led by Joey Cipollone, who's taking the draw against Manning. Draw rolls towards Sempton-Felter, but linesman Craig Peterson says, let's do it over again. As 1 second came off the clock, and they want to make sure to reset the clock to 3:27. So see what the Grizzlies get rolling on the power play. They were 1 for 6 on the man advantage on Wednesday night. Atlanta's got a pretty strong penalty kill at 86.2%. And they're going to wait to make sure that 1 second comes back on the clock at 3:27. And they're going to continue to wait until the clock resets. Fans having a good time, kind of a late arriving Southern California style crowd. And there, the clock goes back to 3:27. And so as they say in Minnesota, let's do that hockey. I actually think they say that in 50 states across America, as well as Canada and Newfoundland. Utah wins the draw. Bukana gets the puck. He's got 6 power play assists on the year over to Manning. Across to Lebster, skates in with the momentum. Right circle. His shot's blocked by Cipollone's stick. Lebster rolls along the boards. Hands to Bukana, runs it down. He gets there about the same time as Nychuk. Now pack up top, left point. Timofeyev lofted over the head of Nychuk. Grant delivers a push to a Gladiator as Sempton-Felter looks over his right shoulder as there's a 3-on-3 scrum. Atlanta comes out with a puck. Joey Cipollone will race out to neutralize. Cipollone 2-on-2. Crosses into the offensive zone left wing. Stops just outside the circle. Atlanta has scored 7 shorthanded goals this season. Denemy will throw it back to Atlanta ice. As Cipollone will come off the ice, so is Nychuk, and the Grizzlies will switch out skaters as well. And Atlanta will fire it deep into the Grizzlies zone. Danny Geneev's on the ice, and like Hanson Bukata, he has 6 power play assists on the year. Geneev gets the puck along the far wing. Races across center ice, veers off to his left wing chip towards Manning over the line. Manning will bounce it off a Gladiator, and Atlanta will clear it all the way out. Halfway through Utah's first power play of the game, Wells behind his net as the Grizzlies will complete the line change and get a new set of forwards on the ice, and Felton replaces AHB. Felton to the right side to Ness, who crosses center ice. He'll peel it back to Geneev. Geneev to the middle of the ice, race the first-year pro out of Penn State. Gets into the offensive zone, drops to Friesen on the left point. Up top towards Felton, who fires a righty shot, and that's blocked. That's with a righty shot, saved by Sempton-Felter. Boy, good look by the Grizzlies. Felton in the left point, fired towards the net. It was blocked by a Gladiator in front of Sempton-Felter. Ness located it, and somehow, I'm not even sure how Sempton-Felter saw it, but he was able to make the stop and keep it a 1-0 game. Now Ness kind of fired a changeup on Sempton-Felter, and even if the Atlanta goaltender wasn't quite sure where it was, it ended up in the breadbasket. TJ Sempton-Felter, a native of Marlton, New Jersey, 6'1", 190 pounds. 33 seconds left in the power play and an even 2 minutes left in the first. Grizzlies win the draw. Felton left wing just outside the circle. His righty shot gets sticked away by Alex Young. Young will drop his stick as he believes it's broken. As Young's hanging out in the far circle now, a race towards the bench, and he gets a new stick from their equipment manager, Ben Ellis. Puck at center ice as it was cleared out. Riley Connors with a half circle gets around Ryan Nolan. Connors enters with momentum. Now he stops, feeds it towards the left corner. Ness gets occupied by Nychuk. Connors joins the play. Puck slides towards the middle of the ice and glances off a couple sticks and goes out to center ice. Lind is out of the box. Grizzlies 0 for 1 on the power play. Minute and a half left in the first period. It's 1-0 Atlanta. Felton out towards center ice as it's collected by Barbashev. He left wings it to Danny Geneev, or make that Gansky backhand shot, and that's blocked by Sempton-Felter. Salem to Barbashev, lefty shot, and that's blocked by Cipollone. As Barbashev now gets it back wearing number 92. He'll bounce it off a Gladiator. Puck goes to center ice. Caitlin Lind gets it. Tries to skate around Gansky. Gansky takes the body and takes Lind off the puck. Grizzlies off of Salem stick to center ice near the Gladiators bench. Run down by Jarvis. And he'll spin it ahead as Gansky comes off, replaced by Hanson Bukata. And Bukata will race and get the puck. He's one of the best rookie defensemen in the league. He gets around one Atlanta skater. Left wing feed past Gillette. As Jarvis gets there before Gillette and feeds it towards the near corner. 35 seconds left in the period. Barbashev tried to deliver a blow in the corner, and he hits more board than Gladiator. Jarvis will sky it deep into the Grizzlies zone towards the right corner. As Grizzlies, Colby ends off his stick, and it's taken away. As the Gladiators, Louis Bedone skates around Utah's net. As Aiden Hansen-Buchanan with a good defensive play. Now Sylvester feeds it towards Les, who fakes a one-timer. 10 seconds left in the period. Behind Utah's net, Hansen-Buchanan rolls it towards the near wall. Sylvester dances around and he gets up top. Conroy fires a wrist shot that goes over the crossbar. 2 seconds left in the period. And that will do it for 20 minutes here at Maverick Center. The lone goal was scored by Isaac Walter, 9:39 in, as he got his 10th of the year, and it's his 5th goal against Utah. He had 2 goals on October 19th in an Atlanta 4-1 victory, and then he scored 2 goals and had 1 assist on Wednesday night in the Gladiators 6-3 victory. So Walter, he's been a Grizzlies killer. He's public enemy number 1 among Grizzlies fans' eyes, as both teams will head to the locker room. Shots, there weren't many in the first period. Grizzlies had 7 and Atlanta had 6, and that seems to be very reminiscent of what you see in a Gladiators game. Both teams want to slow it down and play a controlled pace, and both teams, for the most part, accomplished that. There was just 1 penalty in the first period, and that was 16-33 in. Grizzlies had a couple of looks on that power play, but couldn't find the back of the net. Atlanta is a strong defensive team. In fact, they may be the best defensive team the Grizzlies will face all season. So we'll see what the Grizzlies have in store for the second period, as we're going to have a ton of fun here during the first intermission. We'll come back and talk some hockey, go over the first period statistically, and we'll also check some other scores from around the world of sports. A couple big stories. The University of Utah are looking for a football coach, although it is going to be Morgan Scally, as Kyle Whittingham will retire after 21 successful years as Utah's head football coach. We'll come back and talk hockey as we're through 1 period here at Maverick Center. It's the Atlanta Gladiators 1 and the Utah Grizzlies nothing. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
After 20 minutes of play here at Maverick Center, it's the Atlanta Gladiators 1 and the Utah Grizzlies nothing. Utah outshot Atlanta 7-6 in the first period. Stepan Timofeyev and Reed Lepster each had 2 shots. John Gillette, Griffin Ness, and Maxime Barbashev had 1. For the Gladiators, Kalen Lind and Ethan Scardina had 2 shots, and then 1 shot each for Mickey Burns and the goal scorer Isaac Walter. As his tally came 9:39 into the first period. He has 10 goals this season and 5 against Utah. Louis Bedone gets his team leading 16th assist of the year, and Cody Sylvester, the Atlanta captain, gets his 8th helper. Utah is 0 for 1 on the power play. They had 1 shot in their 2-minute power play. Atlanta did not get a power play as the Grizzlies didn't commit a penalty. It was a very clean played first period. Both teams tried to slow things down and play a controlled style. Both teams have to like their defensive effort here so far. And really, it was a good play by Walter entering the offensive zone. He's shadowed by Gansky. And then Walter just kind of pivoted towards his right a little bit got around Gansky and had enough room to get a shot off, and he fired it under the right arm of Dylan Wells, and that's really the difference in this game. TJ Sempton-Felter stopped all 7 Grizzlies shots he has seen, and Wells has saved 5 of 6 on the Utah side. Let's see if we can get some stats from this first period. Grizzlies 5 scoring chances of their 7 shots. Atlanta with 4 scoring chances in their 6 shots, as both teams are a little bit liberal. The off-ice officials are a little bit liberal in what they count as scoring chances. Atlanta won the battle in the face-off circle 10-8. A lot of hits in the first period. Utah had 10 and Atlanta had 8. Grizzlies with 7 giveaways and Atlanta with 6 in the first period. Other action across the league. Let's go over some Mountain Division scores. At BOK Center, the Tahoe broadcasters having a hell of a time trying to describe the game on the remote feed. And right now, Tulsa leads Tahoe 3-2. That game is after 2 periods. Former Grizzly Dylan Fitz is one of the Tulsa goals. He scored 16:42 into the second period. Elliott and McAlien have the other Oiler goals. If you're watching on Flow Sports, there's the stats of the first period, as the Gladiators had a slight edge in the face-off battle. Otherwise, if you look at it, it was a pretty evenly played first period. Grizzlies with 10 hits in the first frame, as opposed to Atlanta's 8. A lot of giveaways. In the first period, Grizzlies had 7 and Atlanta had 6. So they're on Flow Sports. Those stats of the first period, very evenly played first frame. The difference in the game, obviously, the Isaac Walter goal, 9:39 in. So after 2 periods at BOK Center, Tulsa leads Tahoe 3-2. Also after 2 periods at Intrust Bank Arena, Idaho and Wichita are tied at 3. Liam Malmquist has 1 goal. Brendan Hoffman has 2 goals for the Stillheads. Wichita's got goals from Kyle Krinkovic, Van Roboys, and Peter Bates has also found the back of the net for the Thunder. They've got a good one going over in Wichita, and that game's tied at 3, Idaho and Wichita after 2 periods. After 1 period, over at the Monument, the Allen Americans got goals from Thomas Caron and Trevor Ledon. 2 unexpected subjects there for the goals, as Atlanta leads Rapid City 2-0. That game's after 1 period. Other action in the league after 2 periods, Iowa leads Toledo 2-1. Dennis Smirnoff with the lone Toledo goal. After 2 periods, Bloomington leads Indy 4-2. Former Oilers captain Eddie Matsushima has a goal for the Bison. Kevin Lombardi has both of the Indy tallies. Halfway through the third period, Fort Wayne leads Kansas City 4-2. Halfway through the third period, Kalamazoo and Cincinnati are tied at 2. Quinn Preston, the former Wichita forward, has both of the Kalamazoo goals. Early third period, Florida leads Orlando 2-1. Florida has 15-5-1-1 on the season. Johnson gets a start in net for Florida. Will Cranley, the former Grizzly, is the backup. Taryn Pfizer is in the game. He's scoreless. He has 2 shots. I believe Kyle Betts, former Grizzlies, currently with Florida, is out due to an injury. Hopefully Betts won't be out of the Florida lineup for long. Other action in the league, games have gone final. Wheeling shuts out Adirondack 3-0. Savannah holds on for a 3-2 win over the Jacksonville Icemen. Jeff Carr's North Admirals get a victory. They defeat Reading 5-1. Former Grizzly Quinn Ryan had one of the Admirals goals in the victory as Norfolk gets their 6th victory of the year. Greenville and South Carolina are currently in overtime, tied at 3, and the reason they're in OT is due to the maestro. Keaton Mastrodonato scored 2 goals, and how about this? He scored with 8 seconds left in regulation. How about this for a final minute? Wilkins gave South Carolina a 3-2 lead as he scored with 22 seconds left in regulation, and then Keaton Mastrodonato tied it up for Greenville with 8 seconds left in regulation. That game is currently tied at 3 as they have begun overtime. One other final, Maine defeats Trois-Rivières 3-1 as Maine gets their 10th victory of the year. When we come back, we'll check in on those 2 NHL games. Fans are having a good time here at Maverick Center. Utah is still looking for their first school. And don't forget that tomorrow night's going to be the Grizzlies annual Teddy Bear Toss. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. And make sure when you come to the Grizzlies game tomorrow, you bring a ton of stuffed animals and teddy bears to throw on the ice after Utah's first goal. Last season, the Grizzlies broke a team record in terms of teddy bears. And obviously, for the final Teddy Bear Toss in team history, we want to get a bigger amount. There was 5,390 teddy bears tossed last season. And let's see if we can get even more than that. Maybe we can double it. Get 10,000 teddy bears. That would certainly be a great sight. And that's going to be tomorrow night here at Maverick Center for the annual teddy bear toss. 2 NHL games. We'll mention them before we go to break. No score after one period between the Kraken and Mammoth. Mammoth have outshot the Kraken 11-9. And after 2 periods, Blues lead the Blackhawks 3-1. So that's the 2 NHL games. Obviously, it will be a more wild and busy National Hockey League tomorrow. A couple crazy NHL trades. Quinn Hughes was traded from the Vancouver Canucks to the Minnesota Wild for 3 players and a draft pick. And the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Edmonton Oilers switched goaltenders as Tristan Jarry was traded to the Edmonton Oilers for Stuart Skinner. Skinner used to play in this league. He was a member of the Wichita Thunder. In fact, Skinner is 1-6-2 all-time against Utah. He was a member of the Thunder in the Mountain Division. So that's some interesting NHL news on this Friday night. And obviously in college football, the buzz here is everybody talking about Kyle Whittingham, who is retiring as Utah Utes head coach. He spent 21 years as head coach and another handful of seasons as a defensive assistant under Ron McBride. And obviously Urban Meyer during the 2003-04 season. And as Urban Meyer was there for 2 years. And who knows, maybe they'll build a statue in front of Rice-Eccles Stadium in honor of the great career that Kyle Whittingham had as University of Utah's head football coach for over 2 decades. When we come back, we'll talk some hockey as fans are in the concession stands and everybody having a good time. We've got about 7.5 minutes of real time before we start action in this second period. We'll come back and talk some hockey on the other side. You're listening to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to Maverick Center. I'm Tyson Whiting. Utah outshot Atlanta 7-6 in the first period. And Utah's looking for a second period comeback. They're a little bit shorthanded as the injuries have certainly piled up for John Buchanan's crew. Jack Ricketts out for the second straight game. Neil Shea's also out of the Grizzlies lineup for the second straight game. Both forwards have been outstanding this year. Christoph Fillion's also out. Daniel Amesbury, Diamond Hands, I think is going to be a full member of the Grizzlies next week. I think he had a previous commitment that he had agreed to and had arranged before joining the Grizzlies. Cooper Gay's out of the lineup. Remember, he made his Grizzlies debut on Wednesday. He was certainly impressive. 6'4", 229 pounds. He's got an NHL contract with Colorado. Hopefully he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow. And Avery Winslow, unfortunately, just can't shake the injury bug. He played the first 4 games of the season. Remember, he got hit up high illegally by Mitch Wall of Idaho, and that was late in the Grizzlies' 6-0 blowout victory of the Steelheads. Winslow missed a month worth of action. He played in 3 games last week in Allen, and then unfortunately it appears he's picked up another injury. So he's missing his second straight game, as Winslow's played in 7 games with Utah this season. So we'll see what the Grizzlies have in store in the second period. Utah, for the most part, has been a pretty strong second period club, although over the last couple weeks, the Grizzlies have had a little bit of struggles in the second period. 2 of Utah's 3 goals on Wednesday night in the 6-3 loss came in the second period, but obviously for the Gladiators, they also scored 2 second period goals on Wednesday. Getting to 3 goals might be a big factor for the Grizzlies. They did get to 3 and lose on Wednesday, but the Grizzlies, when scoring 3 or more this season, they have a record of 8-4. Atlanta got on the board first. Isaac Walter, 9:39 in, with the assist going to Louis Boudon and Cody Sylvester. people making some noise there at Maverick Center, and we're about set to get the teams on the ice. But before we do, we'll head to a break, and we'll come back and have second period action on the other side. Gladiators lead the Grizzlies 1-0 in the second of a 3-game series. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
And the Grizzlies and Gladiators come back on the ice for the start of the second period. As Dylan Wells will lead the charge for Utah, and TJ Semptenfelter leads the way for the Atlanta Gladiators. Of the 7 shots Utah had in the first period, Reed Lepster and Stepan Timofeyev each had 2. John Gillette, Griffin Ness, and Maxime Barbashev each had 1. So all 7 of Utah's first period shots came by forwards. And for the Gladiators, all 6 of their shots were by forwards. So not a single shot on goal by a defenseman on either side in the first period. Both teams love to cut down on the giveaways. Utah had 7 in the first period. Atlanta had 6, but both clubs really like to play with a strong defensive identity. And I know that's been a strong focus for John Mechanic and Ryan Anderson. And the Grizzlies have been a pretty improved defensive unit so far this season. They have had some injuries on the blue line, but it was great to get Noah Gansky back, as he missed 3 or 4 weeks due to an injury. He got hurt during the Tulsa series the week before Thanksgiving. As there, if you're watching on Flow Sports, a great save by Dylan Wells early in the first period on a breakaway that Ethan Scardina had. Both teams, I think, would love, if you're talking about adjustments going into the second period, both teams love to get a little bit more traffic out in front of the opposing goaltender. Because Semptenfelter and Wells are the type of goaltenders where if they can see it, they'll most likely stop it. I mean, Semptenfelter has come into this game with a .940 save percentage for a reason. Both teams, I think, would like the pace, although the Grizzlies, I mean, Gladiators have some pretty good team speed, but the Grizzlies certainly move around and are one of the fastest teams in the league. So maybe Utah would like to open things up a little bit more in this second period. John Mechanic adjusting his tie. He talks with the forwards, and Ryan Anderson talking with Aiden Hansen-Bukata and company. Utah will start the second period with the forward line of Griffin Ness, Stepan Timofeyev, and Danny Genev, and a defensive pairing of Noah Gansky and Robbie Stucker. Alex Young will start the second period, taking the draw for Atlanta. He's out there with Ryan Francis and Ryan Nolan, and a defensive pairing of Chad Nychuk and Jack Mateer. Puck is dropped. We're underway. Grizzlies skate from left to right as we see it from high top section 114. Jack Mateer gets to the center red line, and he'll skip it in. As on this fresh sheet of ice, Robbie Stucker skates around Utah's net. He gets cut off by Francis. Puck along the near wing boards, and it wobbles out to center ice. Mateer collides with Ness. Young accepts a puck at the Atlanta line. They'll move it across. Now goes back to Mateer. Mateer D to Nychuk. A race along the left wing across center ice. So push to the middle of the ice. Ryan Nolan skates down the middle. Take a righty shot blocker. Saved by Wells. Rebound goes to Gansky. And he'll tattoo it off the near glass. Puck off of Mateer's stick. He regathers at the Atlanta line. Mateer's challenged by Genev. Jack Mateer gets to the center red line, and he'll flop it in as he comes off the ice after his first shift of the period. Robbie Stucker in his first game in his second stint with Utah. He recently was acquired in a trade with Reading for Ty Voigt. He'll get to the middle of the ice for Timofeyev. Gansky at center ice will ring it around the Rosie as the puck goes back towards center ice and beyond as Timofeyev at the end of his shift comes off. Wells behind his net plays it. I'll lay it for Colby Enns. Gladiators will reshuffle the deck as well as Enns spins along the boards. It goes to center ice. Lebster collects it. He'll dance around towards the Utah line. He'll push it back to Enns. The Grizzlies spread the ice in a little bit of a slowed down, methodical approach. Feed towards Gratton is cut off by Conroy. Grizzlies get it back. Buchanan outlets to Lebster left wing. Lebster off his stick. Atlanta will push it out to center ice. They sweep it to Sylvester off his skate along the center ice. As Luke Manning along the near wing gets to Lebster. Skates to the right corner. Righty shot saved by Semptenfelter. Lebster gets a rebound. He'll skate towards the far corner as he gets pushed to the glass by Conroy. Lebster delivers a push on the back of Conroy as Walter falls down near the Utah line. Atlanta moves it across near point to Sylvester. Now back. The Gladiators will push it back into their own zone. When we talk about a slow down approach, that's exactly what both teams have. Very controlled as both teams. Sylvester diagonal dump in towards the right corner. Salem towards the right corner gets it head towards Manning, and he'll tap it off the glass. Manning and Gansky are wearing the A's on the front of their white sweaters with black numbers and professional green trim. Tyler Grant, the Grizzlies captain, back after missing 6 straight games. Denemy backhands it across off the boards as Caleb Lynn gets cut off by Weinstein. Both guys have NHL contracts. Weinstein with the Avalanche and Lynn with Nashville. Puck goes back to neutral ice, and Atlanta will skip it back in. Wells behind his net. They'll feed it to Weinstein. Now across to Felton at the near goal line. Felton sweeps one across towards Salem, and it goes past him. Jarvis will ring it back around as Salem over in the far corner gets it down the middle of the ice for Felton. Christian Felton, second year as a pro, though he's considered a rookie, played in 20 games combined last year in the AHL and AHL. As he gets around Morgan, crosses center ice, tried to sky it in. It's gloved at the Atlanta line by Nychuk. Now ahead, Morgan will pitch it in. Wells behind his net, 3 minutes into the second period. Rolls it to Gillette off his stick. It's kept in the right point. Now across the Nychuk, just outside the left circle, toe drag. He fires a lefty liner that goes wide as he was looking for a redirection from Mickey Burns. As Gladiators have the puck in the high slot. Now back towards his left is Mateer. He reverses his field and feeds it to his right for Nychuk, who's an outstanding distributor. He'll get it to the right corner. Now Morgan behind the net. Tried to move one out in front. Mateer with a righty shot. And that one goes high and out of play with 16:38 left in the second. As both teams did a good job in playing under control. And because of that, I'm not sure we're going to get many power plays either way. So draws game in the Grizzlies zone. Both teams have one shot here so far in the second period. Thanks for joining us tonight. We know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. Thanks for choosing the Grizzlies in the second of a 3-game series against the Atlanta Gladiators. Tomorrow's going to be the Teddy Bear Toss, and that's going to be the final home game before Christmas. You're going to want to make sure to come to the Grizzlies game and go to the team store and get your Grizzlies merchandise for the Christmas break. Do a little bit of Christmas shopping as the puck's off the stick out to center ice. Brendan Less runs it down. And don't forget, the Grizzlies will be home the first 2 days after Christmas, December 26th and 27th. I can't think of a better stocking stuffer than give your family the gift of Utah Grizzlies hockey. As Stucker wearing number 4 last year, or 2 years ago, he's number 40. Offsides the play as the puck ended up back in neutral ice, and the Gladiators tried to carry it back into the Grizzlies zone. Now it looks like we got a penalty. Hooking's going to be the call, and it's going to be Utah power play. Alex Young goes to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. Young, the second-year pro, played 2 years ago at Arizona State University, where he was a teammate of Tyler Gratton. Before that, Young played at Colgate University. Last season, Young split time with Adirondack in Atlanta. So 2-minute penalty. Alex Young gets a hooking minor. Time of penalty, 3:44 in. Manning will take the drives out there with Timofeyev and Gratton. Up top is Lebster and Aiden Hansen-Buchanan. That's a party of 5 for the Grizz as Utah trails 1-0. Buchanan gets the Timofeyev off his stick. Grizzlies have a power play goal in 13 of their last 16 games. Up top, Hansen-Buchanan, left point across to Lebster. Right circle, he feeds it across, but nobody was home as it bounced off of Joey Cipollone's stick. Grizzlies reset. Wells drops it for Hansen-Buchanan, who has 1 goal and 11 assists this season. Ahead to Manning, across the center ice. Manning's a great skater, gets around Cipollone, steps over the offensive blue. Skeets towards the left side. Now moves it across to Timofeyev off his stick. Referee almost lost his balance. Timofeyev backhands it high and out of play off the protective netting over Semptenfelter's head. So draw's going to stay in the Atlanta zone as both teams will switch up skaters. A minute 26 is left in the power play and 15:42 is left in the second. So Grizzlies will talk things over. Ness will take the draw. He's got Friesen to his left and Genev to his right. And up top is Christian Felton and Riley Connors. 4 forwards and 1 defenseman on this unit. Draw won by the Gladiators. Jack Robilotti will drop it back for Jarvis, who's got a knee on his sweater, and Jarvis will wobble it high into the air, and the puck skips deep into the Grizzlies zone. Christian Felton gets the idle puck behind Wells' net. Felton looking down. He's got 2 goals against Atlanta this season. He'll lay it for Ness. Ness outlets at long range to Friesen down the middle. Genev lefty shot, saved by Semptenfelter, and the Gladiators clear it out. Well, Atlanta's got a chance. Mickey Burns down the middle as he gets cut off by Felton, and Griffin Ness comes up with a great defensive play by Christian Felton, getting back and knocking down Burns. Oh, Grizzly got tripped up at neutral ice, no call. That one could have been made. It would have made it a 5-on-3 power play. Connors gets around Burns, crosses center ice, left wing, steps over the offensive line. He'll take a righty shot, saved by Semptenfelter, and the puck flies out of play. And Semptenfelter kind of leapt about 6 inches off the ground, got his shoulder in the way, and tapped it out of play on the shot from Riley Connors. So 14:57 left in the second, and 41 seconds are left in Utah's second power play of the evening. Grizzlies will switch up skaters again and get the same fight that started the power play, with Manning taking the draw. Fans having a good time. Fans yelling, "Let's go Grizzlies." Utah wins the draw. Nychuk pushes Utah towards the boards, and the Gladiators will throw it from one corner to the other. Lepster gets there before Gladiator. Carson Denemy, as Lepster leads Utah with 10 goals this season, including 2 on the power play. Nychuk moves out to center ice. Hanson Bukata gets at the center red line, and he'll get to Timofeyev left wing. Timo re-enters the zone. So does Gratton and Lepster. Timofeyev reverses it back to the right side for Lepster. Now Lepster around the wall. Timofeyev's in the left point. He collects it as he'll skate towards the left circle. Now Timofeyev in the corner. He stops, feeds up top to Hanson Bukata late in the power play. One-timer to Manning, right side. He didn't get much on it. Timofeyev to Lepster. Lepster spins it back to the right side as well. Slams a stick on the ice. Out of the box is Alex Young. Utah's 0 for 2 on the power play. Gladiators lead 1-0. We played about 6 minutes of this second period. As Atlanta gets it to center ice, Alex Young will cross center ice. No fire it in. Wells gets it off the wall, and he'll pitch it back around. Atlanta's making a line change. Gladiators had 6 on the ice, got away with too many. Right side shot, saved by Wells. Grizzlies get the rebound, and they are in the transition game. Barbashev takes it to Salem, enters the zone, but the Grizzlies are offside as Barbashev tried to carry it himself, and the Grizzlies were a little bit too anxious. Offside's a call. 13:48 is left in the second period. There's a timeout. Gladiators lead 1-0. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
13:48's the time remaining second period. Atlanta leads Utah 1-0. Both teams have 2 shots in the second period. Grizzlies have a 9-8 edge in the shot count. Neutral zone draw to Utah was called for offside. Griffin Ness, John Gillette, and Luke Salem are the forwards. Salem is acting as a forward. He's done that a handful of times this season. A defensive pairing of Noah Gansky and Robbie Stucker, and that's a big defensive pairing. Stucker goes 6'3", 179 pounds, and Gansky is 6'7", 209. As they're working on quite a bit of the ice over in the far corner near the Zamboni tunnel. And so that delays play for a little bit as they've all got squeegees. Now they come off the ice and we're ready for live action. Tyler Keston, the linesman, will drop the puck. He's out there with Craig Peterson. That's the two linesmen. As draw one by the Gladiators. We're all having a good time on a Friday night. Atlanta throws it between the legs of Keston. And it's backhanded in by Ryan Francis. Dylan Wells plays behind his net, the former Oilers draft pick. Oilers made a goaltender switch, trading Stuart Skinner for Tristan Jarry. As Salem gets the Ness, who's behind Atlanta's net. As Ness gets taken away by Young, puck towards the right corner. It's taken by Gillette. John Gillette glances it off of Young's stick, and the Gladiators will bounce it out to center ice. Noah Gansky collects the puck. He'll slide it ahead to Salem, and Salem will pitch it in as the puck got about 10 feet of air under it. It had a gentle push and a mild arc as the Gladiators flip it. It stays off, it hits the top of the glass, stays in play. Gillette dumps it in as the Gladiators are risking a delay of game penalty. As delayed offside, says Tyler Keston. The Gladiators cross center ice. Louis Bidone gets around one skater. Now he enters the offensive zone, slithers his way around Felton, but couldn't complete the deal as he got knocked down by Weinstein. Atlanta starting pass Sylvester. Lefty shot goes wide on a one-timer. He missed the net stick side on Wells. Up top, Jarvis across towards Robilotti. Swings and misses. Robilotti gets the puck back, and he'll dump it into the right corner. Sylvester trying to get back to Robilotti. It's tapped away on a good defensive play by Christian Felton. Boy, Felton's played an outstanding game. Gladiators at center ice will sell it into the seats, and a fan in section 103 will come away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. 12:24 is the time remaining second period. Draw's going to be at neutral ice. Actually, it's going to be a center ice face-off. Grizzlies looking for their first goal of the game, but what Christian Felton has done with them without the puck tonight is certainly noticeable. Played with Kalamazoo a little bit last year. Yesterday, former Grizzly defenseman Derek Dashke was reassigned from Abbotsford to Kalamazoo. Dashke was first team all-league for the Grizzlies last season, so he's back in this league. Atlanta wins a draw. Nychuk dumps into the near corner. Puck is skied off the wall to center ice. Puck kept opposite the Atlanta line. Gladiators will backhand it ahead. It's gloved by Timofeyev. He drops it. Cipollone dumps it in. He chases after, gets around Colby ends. Puck to the near corner. Hands to Bucata, box out Denemy. As Cipollone gives Hanson Bucata a rough ride towards the wall. Timofeyev backhands it to center ice. Goes to Griffin Ness, 2-on-2. Ness over the offense line. Centers it to Genev, but it was overled for him. Genev centers it to Timofeyev, who bounces it to the right goal line for Ness. Back to the right side for Enns. Over to Ness. Now up top to Hanson Bucata. One-timer Timofeyev saved by Semptenfelter. Cipollone gets the puck, and he will sell it out to center ice. Puck kicks by Lind. He plays soccer, then he falls down, getting into the Utah zone. As Nychuk dumps it in, Lind will come off the ice. Some of his dignity's gone after falling down on the Maverick center ice. Mickey Burns gets the puck left wing, spins it along the boards. Scardina blows a tire, crashes himself along the boards. Now Scardina back up top, and he lets it go deeper into the Grizzlies zone. As Enns holds up a Gladiator. Manning looking nearby. Action near the right corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Manning and Webster. Puck gets reversed back to the left corner. As Enns will get the puck, and he'll tap it off the glass. It goes deep into the Gladiator zone, and icing is on Utah with 10:58 left in the second. So we're about halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair. I wouldn't say there hasn't been a whole lot that's happened. Really, the notable things is Isaac Walter scored 9:39 into the first period, and that's the lone goal as Atlanta leads 1-0. Grizzlies have had 2 power plays. They're 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Shots are pretty close to even. Grizzlies with 10, Atlanta with 8. Utah does hold a 3-2 edge in the shot count here in the second period. And both teams are playing a very controlled style of play. You can tell that with the defensive units, as neither team's really initiate too much action. Now right side, Gladiator shot saved by Wells. Now left wing, a Gladiator swings and misses, and that was Ryan Felton. Action deep in the Grizzlies zone. Hanson Bucata gives Young a little bit of lumber. Now Manning lumbers Francis. As puck goes back up top, Chad Nychuk dances around with the blue line at his feet. Ryan Nolan, left side righty shot saved by Wells, and he holds on with 10:37 left in the second. Now both teams are at 10 shots on goal. The Gladiators with a 4-3 edge in the second period. Dylan Wells gets a swig of water. He leads Utah with 5 victories on the season. Atlanta's one of those teams, they've got some star players and guys who have played like stars, but it's just a hard-working team. They've got 4 forward lines and 3 defensive units they can roll out there. And they put some resources into the thing. After all, they've got 5 scratches tonight, and all of them traveled. 3 of them are on the injured list, but they all made it. And all 5 scratches were working extra after morning skate. And you don't see that in this league. In fact, you have some teams that barely travel the minimum amount of players to put in a lineup. But Atlanta's really put some resources into this thing. Outlet pass to Manning down the middle as he gets double-teamed. Webster gets it. He gets bounced by Mateer. Manning trying to muscle his way around Mateer. Webster trying to hack the puck away from the boards. He gets up top to Robbie Stucker. Stucker, toe drag, righty shot, and that's blocked as he had Gratton looking to redirect it as he was battling with Nychuk. Webster on the right side, skates down the middle of the ice with momentum. He'll take a righty shot that goes wide. He missed the net stick side on Sempton-Felter. Noah Gansky with an A on his sweater across towards Stucker. His shot's blocked by Nolan. Puck towards the right corner. Manning accepts it, tries to get around Mateer, but Mateer pushes Manning in the back end. Manning gets divorced from the puck. Stucker gets it ahead. As Lepster in the left wing, skates over the offense line, trying to get around Nychuk. Nychuk with a poke check. Lepster gets it back, and he'll slide it across. Felton keeps it in on the right point. Good hustling play by Christian Felton, who's had some outstanding shifts. Gratton trips up Mateer, no call, and it's cleared out. It's going to be icing on Atlanta as there's 9:27 left in the second. Great to have Tyler Gratton back in the Grizzlies lineup. He missed 6 games with an upper body injury. And Noah Gansky's back. He got injured in the week before Thanksgiving in Tulsa. He missed a few games, and Gansky's back in the Grizzlies lineup. Utah's got a defensive pairing of Sage Weinstein and Christian Felton. The forwards are Luke Salem, John Gillette, and Danny Genev. Utah's rolling with a non-number of forwards. So they've got a different, seems like quite a few different combinations here tonight. Salem, normally a defenseman, but he wins the faceoff here. He's actually taken some faceoffs on penalty kills in the defensive zone. Genev around Atlanta's net. Now he gets towards Felton, but he fell down trying to accept the pass. Atlanta moves ahead. Genev races and gets there before Francis. Francis falls down along the near side. Genev, 20 points in the season to lead all league rookies. He'll move it to his left. Grizzlies enter the offensive zone. Gillette left goal line. He gets it taken away. His Gladiators get it taken away by Gillette. As Gillette swept it to the middle of the ice, Louis Boudon off his stick. Boudon gets around Weinstein over to Sylvester. Sylvester second pass, shot and a score. Sylvester to Walter to the back of the net. It's Isaac Walter again. Give that man an AHL call-up. He's got 3 2-goal games against Utah this season. It's Isaac Walter, 2, and the Utah Grizzlies, nothing. Beautiful pass by Sylvester just outside the left circle. Dangle back and forth. Walter cut in front of the net. Walter, I think, went 5-hole under Wells. And as Mark Jackson used to say, mama, there goes that man. Isaac Walter, you've done enough against us. Mercy, that's a felony in 10 states, what he's doing to the Grizzlies. Walter, the native of Sweden, played at the University of Vermont last year. He now has 11 goals this season, and 6 are against the Grizzlies. Sylvester gets his second assist of the night, and so does Louis Boudon. So Sylvester 2 assists, Boudon 2 assists, and Walter 2 goals. Right wing shot by Enns, saved by Sempton-Felter. He holds on with 8:44 left in the second. Atlanta has outshot Utah 11-10. Boy, we've seen Grizzlies killers in the past. Colby McCauley always seems to give Utah trouble. I remember back in the early 90s, every time the Jazz would play Eddie Johnson, Hot Rod Hundley would always call him the Jazz killer. Isaac Walter. Boy, what he's done against the Grizzlies, that's criminal. Draw one by the Gladiators. They push it up. Enns plays soccer to keep it in. He gets hit by Sylvester. Puck rolls back to the Utah line. As Barbashev gets taken away by Boudon. Boudon bouncing off a Friesen. Puck goes back into the Gladiator zone. Boudon gets it. Louis Boudon across towards Brendan Less. Less across the center ice. And Less dumps it in as Less is more here in this second period. As Friesen towards the far side. As Friesen spins around Cipolone. Friesen sweeps one across. Diagonal pass towards the right wing. Enns will sky it in. And around the net, Sempton-Felter hit the top of the glass, and then it rolled out of play into row 1 of section 117. The fan comes away with a souvenir, and he's thrilled about it. Because it hit the top of the glass, no delay of game. It's going to be an offensive zone draw for Utah. First thing that fan looked after he held the puck in the air as he's taking a good long look at it. That guy kind of looks like Rob Ray, the former Buffalo Sabre. Guy holding on to the puck right now. He sees himself on the video board and gets excited. Doesn't that look like Rob Ray a little bit? If you're watching on Flow Sports, Utah wins the draw. Or if you're here at Maverick Center, as he puck towards the right side, Robilotti gets pushed by Griffin Ness. Genev trying to yank it away from Robilotti's ankle. And now Robilotti kind of skates along the near boards, trying to break free of Genev. Ness holding his ground. He gets pushed by Andrew Jarvis. Now Jarvis and Genev collide around Atlanta's net. Puck slides towards the right side. Robbie Stucker gets, he feeds up top. Timofeyev gets to the left wing for Gansky. Back to Timofeyev. Dancing around, pedals to his left. Gets to Gansky. Left side. Righty shot. Saved by Semptenfelter. Backhand shot by Ness is denied by Semptenfelter. Up top, Gansky keeps it in. He'll bounce it in and it goes past Ness and Genev. Dancing around behind his net is Jarvis. Timofeyev skates towards him. Jarvis will tattoo it off the glass. It hits a stanchion, rolls to the middle of the ice. Denemy gets around Griffin Ness as Ness and Stucker double team Denemy, who used to play with Tulsa. Right side. Now back towards the left. Nychuk second pass, shot and a score. Nychuk to Scardina to the back of the net. And so that'll make it a 3-0 game as Ethan Scardina gets his second of the year. Boy, Atlanta's been sharp tonight. They've really passed the puck well. 2 centering passes turn into 2 second-period goals. Nychuk found Scardina, just kind of a one-time tap off of Scardina's stick, and it kind of flew a little bit in the air over Wells. So Gladiators with 3 goals on 12 shots. Both teams have 12 shots here so far. Draws at center ice. This Maverick Center crowd is rather quiet. So Scardina gets the goal. Hey, give us credit. At least it wasn't Walter this time. Grizzlies down the middle of the ice. Lefty shot. Rebound shot. Saved by Semptenfelter, who made an amazing second save on a shot by Reed Lebster. Weinstein left side shot. Saved by Semptenfelter. He holds on. Lebster got some traffic out in front. So did Tyler Gratton. And it's still a 3-0 game. TJ Semptenfelter with a couple beauties to keep Utah off the scoring sheet. Scardina's goal was scored 12:58 into the second, with the assist going to Jack Mateer and Chad Nychuk. Nychuk leads all Gladiators defensemen with 15 assists. Jack Mateer gets his first assist as a Gladiator, at least this season. Semptenfelter kicked his right pad out as they showed the replay, and really made a great stop. We talk about that traffic out in front of the net. The Grizzlies did get it on that occasion, and if the Grizzlies want to get any goals on Semptenfelter, are going to have to find a way to get traffic in front of the net. Utah did a pretty good job of that on Wednesday with Ethan Hyder in net. So Grizzlies have outshot the Gladiators 14-12. Manning will take the drives out there with Gratton and Lebster. Atlanta wins the faceoff as Nychuk will spin it out to center ice as Felton was occupying Mickey Burns. Puck towards the left corner in the Grizzlies zone. Now up top as Nychuk gets pushed by Lebster and the puck goes back to center ice. Left wing feed from Jack Mateer out to the right side. Glanced off of Morgan stick and it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. How many times do I use the word glanced here tonight? Got to be around 100. Out to Gratton off his stick onto Lebster left wing. Lebster feeds to the middle of the ice for Manning off his stick. Puck off the near wing boards. Mickey Burns gets it. He diagonals it out to the right for Morgan. Peter Morgan skates towards the right circle. Righty shot save. Rebound goes to Gratton, who backhands it to center ice. Good job by the Grizzlies captain to clear it out. Ryan Nolan back deep in his own zone. Gets to Conroy. Conroy zips one towards center ice. Puck out about 5 feet of air under it. As Salem dumped it in from Hanson Bukata. Conroy dancing around the near side. Makes a nice spin move around Salem. As Gladiators ricochet off the boards. Ahead to center ice off of Young's stick. Now down the middle of the ice. Francis Slick, righty shot that goes wide. Nolan collides with John Gillette. Both guys wear number 24. Probably in honor of Willie Mays, of course. Probably not. Nolan with the puck. He gets pushed by Hanson Buchanan. It would be cool, though, if they were. As over to the right corner. I know if I wore number 24, I'd be thinking about Willie Mays or King Griffey Jr. or some of the great hockey players that have worn that number. Timofeyev belts a Gladiator left corner. Righty shot by Nolan. That one's blocked as Grizzlies will race out to neutral ice. Gillette carries it to the center red line, and he'll loft it. It hits the top of the boards. Grizzlies make a full line change. About 5 minutes left in the second period. Strong outlet pass angle left to Young, and Young will dump it in. Gladiators make a full line change of their own. Gansky around to center ice, and he'll skip it in. Felter stays in front of his net. Friesen gets her a stride ahead of Mateer. Friesen accelerates towards the right corner. Now he feeds up top. Gansky directs it towards the left side. Stucker one-timer goes wide as he puts a dent towards the end boards. Barbashev trying to locate it. He gets double-teamed. Connors trying to backhand it ahead. He gets cut off. Mateer and Connors go at it as they push each other in front of Felter's net. Atlanta enters from the left wing. Nychuk dangling back and forth. He'll bounce one off of Barbashev. Barbashev will stride out to center ice right wing. Now he steps over the offensive line. Centers out towards Connors. It's off his stick as Connors was being challenged by Louis Boudon. Arm is raised by the referee. It's going to be a penalty on Barbashev as he swipes the stick of Jack Mateer. Remember, Mateer and Connors were going at it, and then Mateer went after it with Barbashev. Barbashev picks up a penalty. 4:07 is the time remaining second period. Gladiators lead the Grizzlies 3-0. Atlanta will be on the power play for the first time when we come back. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Atlanta's on the power play for the first time this evening as Maxime Barbashev gets a cross-checking minor. 15:53 into the second. It's a critical penalty kill. Utah has been outstanding on the penalty kill so lately. They're 15 for 15 over the last 4 games. Atlanta's power play is 16.2%. Grizzlies' penalty kill is 83.3%. You know, they always say you get the second guy, and they got Barbashev up top in the cross-check to Jack Mateer. Remember, earlier in the shift, Mateer is getting after it with Riley Connors. So draws give me in the left circle. And faceoffs won by the Gladiators. Chad Nychuk gets it across right wing, dangling back and forth with the puck. Sylvester over to Nychuk down the middle. He fires lefty shot that goes wide. Sylvester gets it off the wall. Skates towards the right corner. Now behind the net, Boudon over to Sylvester. Lofted to Nychuk. Puck bounces towards him in the right point. Nychuk with the blue line nearby. Moves to the left side. Young back towards Nychuk. Across to Sylvester. One-timer saved by Wells. And he holds on. Shot was taken about chest high, and Wells gathered it around the logo on the front of his jersey. Wells will get a swig of water. He has saved 11 of 14 so far tonight. Sylvester snapped a one-timer from the left wing, but Wells just kind of sprawled towards his left to make the stop. I like this song. Doja Cat. I think Doja Cat's actually going to be at Maverick Center upcoming in a few months. Draw one by the Gladiators. Sylvester gets the puck as he's battling with Lepster. Remember, Lepster has 2 shorthanded goals this season. Grizzlies have 4 as a team. Atlanta leads the league with 7. Gladiators back deep in their own zone as Nychuk's being challenged by Grattan. Utah a little bit aggressive here on this penalty kill. As Louis Boudon gets held up along the right side. Lepster spins around Boudon. Puck goes back to the right wing. Young gets around Hanson Bukata. Now he pitches it back up top to Nychuk. Who dangles back and forth. He'll saucer it across to Boudon. Over to Sylvester left side. Sylvester centers it. It's picked off by Grattan. Grattan slides it. It goes back to neutral ice. Atlanta has to tag back up. Might be towards the end of their shift. Boudon over the line. Across to Young. That's picked off by Lepster. Lepster backhands it across. Hanson Bukata gets the puck. He's onside. He'll throw it deeper into the Gladiator zone as Utah will make a line change. Gladiators will filter some guys on and off. Utah takes it away. Down the middle of the ice. Manning skates towards the left circle. Take a shot. Blocker saved by Semptenfelter. Manning over in the left corner, which is the far side. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period as Atlanta controls the puck. Nychuk gets it ahead to Young, who stops in front of the Grizzlies bench. He'll get it back towards Ryan Francis. As we have less than 20 seconds left in the Atlanta power play, their first of the game. Left wing to Burns. He crosses center ice, gets around Francis, skates down the middle. He'll push Diz right. Kalen Lind moves up top. Conroy over towards Francis. One-timer is bounced off of Wells' glove, and the Grizzlies clear it out. Barbashev's out of the box. Grizzlies are 1 for 1 on the penalty kill tonight and 16 for 16 in their last 4+ games. Lind backhands it to center ice. Cipollone collides with Felton. Lind over the offensive line. He'll get to the middle of the ice. Now Cipollone, he'll take a righty shot that's blocked as Grizzlies gather the puck along the near wing boards. Connor, diagonal pass left wing off a Grizzly stick as a Grizzly was able to get a stick in the way, and that was Friesen. Atlanta skies to center ice. Weinstein plays soccer. Cipollone with the puck. Now Lind, right wing. Dangles back and forth. Lefty shot saved by Wells. Rebound goes towards Riley Connors. First full season as a pro. Connors made a strong impression to Grizzlies fans late last season. He wobbles it in from center ice deep into the Gladiator zone. Utah makes a line change. Minute 17 on a moving clock, second period. Lind skies it into the Grizzlies zone, and he comes off for a change as Atlanta has got their shifts pretty short. Both teams are trying to play a controlled style. Outlet pass off the near boards. Cut off at center ice by Jarvis, who swings it back in. AHB outlets it to the Utah line off the Timofeyev stick. Ends cross the center ice, and he'll wobble it in. It hits the top of the boards. Now down the middle of the ice. Jania backhand shot goes wide. He might have been looking for a redirection. Now right wing ends with a shot saved by Semptenfelter. Rebound goes to Scardina, who has a goal tonight. Scardina will backhand it as the puck wobbles towards Ends. Ends spins it towards Timofeyev. Puck goes back towards Utah as Colby Ends. Long-range pass angle left. Connects towards Ness, and Ness dumps it in. Timofeyev delivers a push on Jarvis. 25 seconds left in the period. Robelati rolls it out towards center ice. Manning in the area. Now Genev enters from the left wing with momentum. Skates towards the left circle. Toe drag. Lefty shot goes high over the crossbar. Over the crossbar, not off it. 12 seconds left. Gansky across to Manning. He shuffles towards the left corner. Keeps control of the puck. Dances around Morgan. 6 seconds left in the period. As Genev behind Atlanta's net. Feeds one out in front to nobody in particular, and it goes back into the Grizzlies zone, and that will do it for 2 periods. Atlanta has 2 goals from Isaac Walter and 2 assists from Louis Boudon and Cody Sylvester. Ethan Scardina has also found the back of the net as Gladiators have a 3-0 lead. And for the Grizzlies, they're going to need to find a way to come back, get a comeback on TJ Semptenfelter and company. Utah's outshot Atlanta 19-16. They had a slight edge in the shot count in the second period. We'll come back and talk some hockey, recap the first 40 minutes, go over some other scores from around the world of sports, and get ready for this third period as Utah's looking for their first goal of the night. After 2 periods, it's the Atlanta Gladiators 3 and the Utah Grizzlies 0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Well, after 40 minutes of play, the Atlanta Gladiators lead the Utah Grizzlies 3-0. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I think it's time for Isaac Walter to get an American Hockey League call-up. If he plays anything like he does against the other teams in the league, like he plays against the Grizzlies, I don't know, he's probably NHL bound. He probably should be a teammate with Charles Edward Nastu in the Tampa Bay Lightning. Walter had 2 goals against the Grizzlies on October 19th, 2 goals on Wednesday night, and 2 again here this evening. As Walter scored 9:39 into the first period with Louis Boudon, and Cody Sylvester gained the assist. Atlanta led 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Grizzlies outshot the Gladiators 7-6. 11:08 into the second period. Walter got his second of the game and 11th of the year. Cody Sylvester and Louis Boudon each picked up the assist. So Boudon and Sylvester each had an assist in the 2 Walter goals. Walter spells his last name Walther. Boudon and Sylvester 2 assists tonight. And TJ Simptonfelter saved all 19. They have 3 stars of the game, but right now there's 4 key stars to the Gladiators, and it's Walter, Sylvester, Boudon, and Simptonfelter has saved all 19 he has seen. Atlanta extended the lead to 3-0 as Ethan Scardina got his second of the year on a centering pass from Jack Mateer. Chad Nychuk also picked up an assist. Atlanta is 0 for 1 on the power play. Utah is 0 for 2. In terms of power play shots, Grizzlies have 2 through 2 periods, and Atlanta had 2 shots in their lone power play that came late in the second period. So both clubs have looked good on the penalty kill so far tonight. And for Atlanta, the stars, we had mentioned them. Walter, 2 goals, he's a +2. Sylvester and Boudon each have 2 assists and are +2. And TJ Simptonfelter, 19 saves. He has been a star as well. For the Grizzlies, in terms of shots, Stepan Timofeyev, Luke Manning, and Reed Lepster each have 3. 2 shots for Griffin Ness, and then 1 shot each for 8 different Grizzlies. If you're watching on Flow Sports, there's the stats of the second period. Through 2 periods, the Grizzlies have 11 scoring chances, and the Gladiators have 9. Battle at the faceoff circle, Gladiators have a slide edge through 2 periods of 19-15. We mentioned the power play shots. Atlanta with 2, Utah with 2. They had 1 in the first period, 1 in the second. Grizzlies did get 1 shorthanded shot. Hits, Grizzlies had 7 in the second period and 17 through 2 frames. Gladiators with 12 hits, and 8 of those were in the first period, 4 in the second. Too many giveaways for the Grizzlies. According to the off-ice officials, they have 15, and the Gladiators had 11. So a lot of giveaways on both sides. Both teams are trying to play a controlled, slow-down style. It is definitely not the fast-paced run-and-gun type of hockey on either side. Very controlled, and with that, both teams want to utilize their strong defensive units. Gladiators, though, have done a great job getting that centering pass through, especially on the Walter and Scardina goals. And really, you got to credit Sylvester on a great pass to Walter. Sylvester was outside the left circle, centered it to a cutting Isaac Walter. Walter, we mentioned, goes 6'4", but he looks taller than that. He looks like he's maybe as tall as Noah Gansky, and Gansky goes 6'7". And so really there's not a whole lot you can do except for you got to find a way to intercept, whether it's the goaltender in front of the crease with a stick or the defenseman, cutting nearby with Walter. You somehow got to make sure that pass doesn't get through. But Atlanta was able to thread the needle, and they made that pass through. And they made a great play, and you got to tip your hat on that goal. And then, Mateer's on the left wing just centered it to Scardina and just kind of glanced at Scardina on the perfect angle off his stick, and then just kind of flew like a perfect one-timer past Wells. So the goals have really been pretty type of goals that the Gladiators have scored. And there's not a ton you can do about it. Defensively, maybe you just kind of tighten up a little bit on the body and, try not to let them get the shot off. But this series, the Gladiators, and you don't want to tip your hat too often to an opposing team that's had success, but the Gladiators are showing why. They're 15-5 so far this season. And so for the Grizzlies, you're looking for something to light a spark early in this third period, and really we're looking for that all second period. You're looking for that spark. Who is going to make the big play? The Grizzlies did have some hard-working shifts from the forward line of Genevieve Ness and Timofeyev. I think one guy, even though it's not showing up statistically, I think Christian Felton's had an outstanding first two periods here tonight. He's been everywhere you want him to be. Great to have Tyler Granton, the Grizzlies captain, back, although he has missed a couple weeks, and you wonder if there's a little bit of rust, but I got to imagine after two periods he would knock off that rust a little bit. Atlanta's one of those teams that if they want to control the pace and style of this game, they're going to find a way to have some success. So for Utah, they may have to push the envelope a little bit in this third period and see if they can get some things done offensively. And they may have to kind of sacrifice a little bit of something on the defensive end, because getting some traffic out in front of the net and really forcing the issue might be the answer to getting the job done past TJ Semptenfelter. T-shirt toss here at Maverick Center. Sammy Miller emceeing things tonight. Risby's going to toss some T-shirts into the seats, and everybody's having a good time. Make sure to join us tomorrow for the teddy bear toss. That's going to be after Utah's first school. Fans will throw teddy bears and stuffed animals on the ice. It'll be a festive atmosphere. It'll be the last game that the Grizzlies will have here at home before the Christmas break. So make sure you get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. You want to be part of Grizzmania and enjoy the exciting action of Utah Grizzlies hockey here in their final hunt in the Salt Lake Valley. When we come back, we'll go over the two NHL games, the other games across the four-letter league. As we're through two periods, Atlanta leads Utah 3-0. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies Hockey. I want to thank the fan wearing a Gladiators jersey. They gave me some French fries. Certainly appreciate that. And I haven't had dinner yet, so thanks to the fan of the Gladiators jersey for giving me some French fries here during the second intermission. Action across the league. Tulsa holds on to defeat Tahoe 3-2. Former Grizzly Dylan Fitz had one of the 3 second-period goals that the Oilers had. Nobody scored in the third frame. And Tulsa gets a 3-2 victory over the Tahoe Night Monsters. Idaho and Wichita are currently tied in overtime. In fact, there's only 44 seconds left in OT. As they're tied at 4, that game may be headed to a shootout. After 2 periods over at the Monument, Allen leads Rapid City 3-0. Thomas Caron, Trevor Ladon, and Sam Sedley have the goals for the Americans. Not usual suspects there, as they're getting their role players to contribute offensively here tonight. Games have gone final in the league. Toledo gets 2 goals from Brandon Hawkins, the former league MVP. Toledo defeats Iowa 4-2. Game that's just gone final. Bloomington defeats Indy 6-3. Former Oiler Eddie Matsushima had 2 goals. Kevin Lombardi had 2 goals for the Fuel in the loss. Kansas City comes back to defeat Fort Wayne 5-4. How about this? Kansas City scored the tying goal with 51 seconds left in regulation. Bobby Carpenter tied it up, and then David Cotton scored the game winner with 12 seconds left in regulation. So that was a thriller as the Mavericks turned defeat into victory. They trailed 4-3 with 1 minute left in regulation, but in regulation, they come away with a 5-4 win. Other finals in the league, Kalamazoo defeats Cincinnati 3-2. Florida gets a 3-2 victory over Orlando. Maine defeats Trois-Rivières 3-1. South Carolina in overtime gets a game winner from Roman Radzinski. They defeat Greenville 4-3. Former Grizzly Keaton Mastrodonato scored 2 goals, including the tying goal with 8 seconds left in regulation. Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals defeat Reading 5-1. Savannah over Jacksonville 3-2. And Wheeling gets a 3-0 victory over Adirondack. So some fun action across the league here on this Friday night. 2 games in the National Hockey League. Blackhawks are taking on the Blues, and that game has gone final. Blues defeat the Blackhawks 3-2. And after 2 periods over at Delta Center, Mammoth lead the Kraken 2-1. Mason Marchment scored for Seattle 3:35 into the second period. Nick Schmaltz scored unassisted 8:09 in. Tyler Yamamoto broke the tie as he scored 13:24 into the second with Liam O'Brien. And Kevin Stenling gained the assist, so the role players gained the job done for the Mammoth. Both teams have 24 shots, and Utah leads Seattle 2-1 after 2 periods. So that's action in the National Hockey League. The Train Boney, the UTA Train Boney's on the ice, as well as the Les Schwab Zamboni. As they're resurfacing the ice, and we'll see what the Grizzlies have in store for this third period. They certainly need to raise the temperature a little bit in this game. Utah is rolling with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen, but Luke Salem is acting as a forward. He's done that a handful of times for the Grizzlies this season. Once again, before we head into the third period, make sure you get your tickets. You want to be here tomorrow, as we're going to have a ton of fun. The Grizzlies will be wearing a Christmas-themed specialty jersey, and it's going to be the teddy bear toss night, where fans throw a teddy bear stuffed animal or maybe multiple stuffed animals on the ice after Utah's first goal. If you got that long wingspan like an NBA player does, you got to make sure to bring 5, 6, 7 teddy bears, maybe even more, and bring them to throw on the ice after Utah's first goal. And we certainly want to see a record number of teddy bears. We saw 5,360, which was a team record last season. We want to see more than that for the Grizzlies' final ever teddy bear toss. Well, when we come back in 90 seconds, we'll have third period action as the fans are coming back from the concession stands, and we'll see what the Grizzlies have in store in this final regulation frame. Final score of the last 3 Grizzlies games has been 6-3, and it would certainly be a crazy third period to get an identical score to what we had in each of the last 3 games. We'll come back and have third period action on the other side. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to Maverick Center. We're about set for third period action as Atlanta leads Utah 3-0. As the officials are now on the ice, and it's kind of interesting to think about the giveaways. Both teams have quite a few through 2 periods. Grizzlies have 15 and the Gladiators have 11. Both teams are about set to hit the ice for this third period. Looks like Idaho and Wichita are headed to a shootout. That game tied at 4. as Grizzlies hit the ice, and so do the Gladiators. Utah in a white jersey with black numbers, professional green trim. Atlanta's in a black jersey, white numbers, white lettering, and light blue mixed into the jerseys. Yes, they do look identical to the Utah Mammoth jerseys, but the Mammoth jerseys look identical to the IHL's Atlanta Knights. They were a team that played a handful of years in the 1990s in the International Hockey League. The Knights won a Turner Cup back in 1994. And then the Grizzlies ended up winning back-to-back Turner Cups the following years in 1995 and 96. And with Atlanta, it wasn't necessarily immediately after the Knights left town or folded that an NHL team showed up with the Thrashers. That came a few years later. And if you do Google the Atlanta Knights hockey, you're going to see the same style jerseys as what the Gladiators have tonight. And coincidentally, and I'm not even sure if that registered among people that are designing the Utah Mammoth jerseys, but yeah, they do look identical to each other. And it may just be a coincidence, but nevertheless, it is a pretty sharp look. Grizzlies will start the third period with the forward line of Evan Friesen, Riley Connors, and Maxime Barbashev. And a defensive pairing of Noah Gansky and Robbie Stucker. We're going to skate 5-on-5 to start the third period. Alex Young will take the draw for Atlanta. He's out there with Ryan Francis and Ryan Nolan. A defensive pairing of Chad Nychuk and Jack Mateer. Mateer is a +9 coming into play tonight. Linesman Craig Peterson's at center ice. He drops the puck and we're underway. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it from high top section 114. Atlanta from left to right. Head to center ice off a Barbashev's stick. Puck goes into the right corner. Friesen gives Mateer a rough ride along the boards as everybody's skating on the fresh sheet of ice. Barbashev loses control of the puck. Ryan Francis gets it. He's a speedy little righty forward. He'll backhand it to center ice. Stucker plays soccer, kicking it to his left. Atlanta. Francis overskates the puck. Nolan enters. Nolan centers it. Gansky gets it with his stick. Gansky rolls it behind Utah's net as Barbashev out gets it at the Utah line. Maxime Barbashev. His brother is Ivan Barbashev, who plays for the Vegas Golden Knights. He has another brother who plays pro hockey as well and has been a pro hockey player for about a decade. Barbashev back to ends. You talk about a hockey family. 3 siblings, all in pro hockey, one in the NHL. Barbashev was drafted by the Rangers. He's got an AHL contract with Tucson. Sylvester right side, his lefty shot goes out of place. He lifted it quite a bit. Hanson Bukata might have gotten a piece of it with his stick. As we get our first whistle, 58 seconds into the third period. Dylan Wells and net has saved 13 of 16. Louis Baudon will take the drives out there with Sylvester and Isaac Walter, and that's been the forward line that's got the job done. Walter with 2 goals, Sylvester and Baudon each with 2 assists. Ness will take the draw. He's out there with Genev and Timofeyev. Genev gets the puck after Utah wins the faceoff. Trying to move it across. Genev gets it back as he fanned on the first attempt. He'll slide it to Ness near the center ice area. Now Genev gets it. He races towards the left wing. Genev lefty shot saved by Semptenfelter in the butterfly position. On Ness right side, he tried to fire towards the net and hits the outside of the cage. Atlanta will bounce off the glass. Genev with good hands keeps it in. Genev faked it to Ness, keeps it. He'll move it to the right corner for Timofeyev, who brushes up top. Bukata over to Timofeyev across to Weinstein. He takes a lefty shot, and that's stick by Walter. Walter will tap it off the glass, and it goes out to center ice. Ness fires on towards Semptenfelter, and he collects it about waist high, and he holds on in the butterfly. Ness chases after him. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw with 18:21 left in the third. Great idea for Ness, who's at neutral ice. He taps his stick over his knee, but there was no action. Atlanta was making a change, and Utah kind of had guys in neutral ice, and Ness just fired in. And it may look innocent, but the Grizzlies get an offensive zone draw out of it. As Utah is looking for some good shifts, and it may just be just hacking away one good shift at a time against this Atlanta team. Utah wins the faceoff as Gillette skates towards the right corner. He gets pushed by Robilotti. Jarvis gets the puck. He skates around his net. He backhands it over the head of referee Emil Sharon. Second time he's officiated a Grizzlies game, both of them in this week in this series. Now Utah gets the puck. Gillette down the middle of the ice, takes a lefty shot, and that one's blocked by Jarvis's stick. Gillette runs it down in the left corner as Jarvis pushes him to the boards. Gillette tries to muscle his way around Jarvis. Frees into the right side. Righty shot saved by Semptimphelter. Action out in front. Gillette gets pushed into Semptimphelter. Atlanta gets it. They'll carry it towards the near wing boards. And Atlanta will sky it out to center ice. Felton moves it ahead. Goes towards Joey Cipollone, who skates down the middle. 2-on-3. Cipollone gets around Felton. Backhand shot goes wide. As on the fresh sheet of ice, Felton had a tough time moving towards his left. Mateer moves it to center ice, and Denemy skies it in. Oilers, or the Gladiators make a full line change. I thought about the Oilers. That's the team that Denemy used to play for. He's been with a few teams in this league. Grizzlies wrap it around the boards. Grattan lifts the stick of Mateer. Grattan's one of the stronger players in this Grizzlies club. Manning at the Utah line, skates horizontally. Fakes it to a defenseman, skates towards center ice, gains center ice, moves the puck towards the Atlanta line. Mateer out to center ice. Lebster collects, and he'll push it back towards Gansky. Gansky directs it towards Lebster near the Grizzlies bench. Lebster crosses center ice, gets around Morgan, and the puck goes to Manning, who skates towards his left. Manning towards the left wing, gets thrown to the boards by Scardina, but Manning somehow was able to whip the puck around the wall. Grattan in the right side. There's a stick lane in the right corner. Lebster righty shot, blocker saved by Semptimphelter. As Atlanta will wobble the puck out to center ice. It's crafted by Stucker, who moves it at about 20 feet. Manning gets one on towards Grattan off his skate. Grattan over the line, bounced one off of Burns. Gansky wraps the puck around the wall, and so come off the ice. So does Robbie Stucker in his first game in his second second stint as a Grizzly. Long-range pass goes past Morgan towards the Utah line, ends. Ed towards Freese, who collects the puck, skates towards the right circle, take a lefty shot, and it gets blocked on the way towards Semptimphelter. As Mickey Burns falls down, as Connors is in the area. Crossing center ice, Alex Young tries to split a triple team. Young over the offensive line, surrounded by 4 Grizzlies. Young wraps it around the boards. Ryan Nolan towards the left corner, feeds it behind the net. Francis gets a tap by Connors. Puck towards the right side, dancing at the points, Alex Young. He fires a righty shot, saved by Wells in the Butterflies. The puck goes towards Freese on a rebound. He'll tap it off the boards, goes up but not out. Conroy avoids a check of Connors, but Connors divorces Conroy from the puck. Connors saucers one over Barbashev's stick. Freese gets the puck. He'll tap it off the glass. Conroy leaps to keep it in, left point. He'll get it in deep. Francis behind the net. Now Atlanta slides the puck towards the crease. Barbashev comes out with it. As towards the right side, Francis moves it to Nolan. He's on the right side. Nolan trying to get it across. Puck wide of Young. Conroy fakes a one-timer. He'll drop it. As Francis down the middle of the ice, take a righty shot. Blocker saved by Wells. Rebound goes to Conroy off the left wing boards. Atlanta keeps the puck in the offensive zone. Francis toe drags, trying to get it around Barbashev, but lost control of the puck. Anson Bucanda will sky it out to center ice. Grizzlies get a much-needed line change. Diagonal pass, angle right, goes tape to tape to Francis. He'll drop it for Conroy. Right side lefty shot saved by Wells off his left pad. Timofeyev gets the puck, skates out towards center ice. Linesman Craig Peterson took a little bit of a blow as Timofeyev tried to get around Conroy. As Atlanta over the offensive line, kicked by Boudon. Boudon gets to the center of the ice for Sylvester, trying to get back to Walter, and Genev anticipated, and he took the puck away. Genev over the offensive line, across Timofeyev, kicks it towards Ness, but the puck goes wide of the mark as Ness got a stick lifted in front of the crease. Jack Robilotti solicits one towards Walter, but it bounced off of him at neutral ice. Stucker out towards Timofeyev. Puck goes wide of the mark. Robilotti will bounce it up the near wing boards. Stucker runs it down behind Utah's net. Denemy closes the gap. Stucker, a strong guy, 6'3", listed at about 179 pounds, but he's wiry strong. Felton down the middle of the ice with momentum. As he'll move it to his right. Genev, left side, lefty shot, saved by Semptimphelter. And Timofeyev gets pushed along the boards by Lind. Now Timofeyev wants to take it up with Kalen Lind. And the linesmen separate them. 13:59 left in the third. Gladiators lead 3-0. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle, more of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
$13 minutes and 59 seconds, the time remaining in the third period. Atlanta leads Utah 3-0. It's Teddy Bear Toss Eve here at Maverick Center. Make sure to join us tomorrow night for the Grizzlies annual Teddy Bear Toss. Grizzlies had a team record 5,360 teddy bears last season. Utah is looking to get a higher mark tomorrow. Make sure to get your tickets at UtahGrizzlies.com. It should be a fun one. It's the fourth meeting this season between the Gladiators and Grizzlies. Utah's looking for their first victory against Atlanta. The Gladiators are 0-2-1 against Utah this season. The fan is attempting to chug a beer, and she did not succeed. And she gets booed by this Maverick Center crowd, and quite frankly, she probably deserved it, and she knows it. Gansky long-range feed. Off the stick, Lebster behind Atlanta's net. As Grizzlies deep in the offensive zone, Lebster dancing around. Nychuk's shadowing him like a hawk. Now Manning, right side shot is blocked off of Sempton-Felter's right shoulder. Remember Mike Fulte was calling games for Atlanta, and he had kind of a viral moment as Atlanta flips it off the top of the glass. It stays in play. Where he jinxed a shutout. Like at the very start of the period. Now, the jinxes only work when it's your team that's got the shutout, so we need Guy Carenza to jinx the Gladiators on the other side of Section 114. Right side, Mateer with a shot, and his equipment lets it down as his stick breaks. Manning gets towards Lebster on the right wing, down the middle. Robbie Stucker gets around a Gladiator. Backhand shot goes over the crossbar. Arm is raised by the referee. Sempton-Felter dives to cover up the puck. Holding's going to be the call, and who goes to the box? I think it's going to be a Utah power play. So Guy Carenza, what he should be doing on the Atlanta side is say shutout, 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 shutout. Mike Fulte jinxed an Atlanta shutout early in the third period of a game and got a lot of attention for it. Holding's going to be the call. Jack Mateer has been active and physical tonight. He goes to the box. He has some words for Emil Sharon, the referee. As Mateer held on to Grizzly up near the net, and that was Luke Manning. So it was a late call. Stucker had the backhand shot, and then Sempton-Felter dove to his left to keep it a 3-0 game. So see if Utah can get a power play goal here. 13:09 is the time remaining, third period. It's Utah's third power play of the night. Draw one by Atlanta. Conroy flips it up. It hits a stanchion. Moves to center ice. Mickey Burns gets it. 2-on-3. Burns left wing. He'll take a lefty shot that misses high. As puck crashed off the glass, it goes towards the Atlanta line. Conroy races after it. Ness closes the gap. Conroy races around his net. Conroy falls down on his own as he tried to accelerate past Ness to neutral ice. Connors re-enters from the left wing. He gets some lumber from Les. Connors around Atlanta's net. He's now to the far side. He slides one up top. Felton directs it to Genev just outside the left circle. Danny Genev out of Brooklyn, New York, over to Connors. Connors dancing around. He's from the East Coast as well. Felton over to Genev. He's in the right circle trying to get across to Connors. That's knifed away by Louis Boudon. Grizzlies reset at center ice. 50 seconds into the power play. Connors over to Genev. As he battles with Robolani. Puck slides towards the right corner. As Connors gets there before Les drags down Connors, and the Gladiators clear it out. Gladiators will get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill. Grizzlies will switch up skaters as well. 12 minutes left in regulation. Atlanta leads 3-0. Manning with the puck over to Lebster. Across the center ice. Gets around Cipollone. Veers off to the left. Gets around Denemy. Lebster left side is. Righty shot goes high. Puck slides back towards the Grizzlies bench. AHB gets it towards Timofeyev. Timo out of Russia. Spins around and avoids Denemy. Timofeyev now gets around Cipollone. Steps over the offense line with momentum. Righty shot goes wide. Hanson Bukata across all owns Manning. Right circle. I look to center towards Gratton and sticked away by Atlanta. Denemy knocks down a Grizzly. 3-on-3 battle behind Atlanta's net. Robolani clears it out as he crashed the puck off the near wing boards. Less than 10 seconds left in Utah's power play. Manning gets the neutral ice, crosses center. Manning gets around one Gladiator, flips it into the left corner. Out of the box is Jack Mateer. Utah's 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. The Grizzly goes crashing down the middle of the ice, and that was Timofeyev. Mateer spins around Stucker. Now Mateer feeds it to the left goal line. Nolan centers it, but Nychuk got some lumber in the back from Grattan, so Nychuk couldn't accept it. The Grizzly gets double-teamed as he bounced off a couple of Gladiators, and that was Barbashev who gets back to his feet. Atlanta back behind their own net. They are controlling play with a 3-0 lead. Rink-wide feed, angle right towards Nolan. Nolan over the offensive line. Gets held up by Weinstein. Now down the middle of the ice. Atlanta pokes back towards the right wing boards. Weinstein throws it up but not out. Conroy tries to spin around Gillette. Conroy moves to his left. He'll feed it towards the left point. Brendan Less, righty shot. Blocker saved by Wells. Stucker gets a rebound. And Robbie Stucker gets the puck. It's the 5th different ECHL team he's played on. Stucker, second stint with the Grizzlies. He'll feed one angle left to Weinstein, who gains the center red line, and he zips around the wall. Jarvis holds up a Grizzly. That was Salem. Both guys were number 6. Halfway through the third period, it's 3-0 Atlanta. Genev at center ice off his stick. Ness tees it up for Genev at center ice, but Genev overskates it. Down the middle, Louis Boudon trying to lay it for Sylvester, overskated it. Griffin Ness gets the puck with momentum. Skates along the left wing boards. Centers it to Genev, but the pass is behind him. All right. Passes just seemed to be a little bit off here for the Grizzlies tonight. On the back check, Genev takes it away from Sylvester. Genev enters from the left wing, drops it for Timofeyev, but he fumbles the puck. Louis Boudon out to center ice for Sylvester. He goes heels over head on a great hit by Griffin Ness, but that's going to be a penalty on Ness. And now Ness is hoping, the Grizzlies are hoping that a Gladiator loses his cool. Louis Boudon throws a right cross. And I think that does it for Atlanta's power play before it started. Well, you hope for that. Nils just flipped over an Atlanta player, heels overhead. Now Nychuk has some words for Ness. Ness goes to the box. Sylvester, he's yelling at Ness. And really after the whistle, all the Grizzlies were hoping for is that a Gladiator would lose his cool and negate the upcoming power play. Ness tripped up Sylvester, heels overhead. And then the Gladiators went to confront Griffin Ness. But it does look like the lone penalty is going to be Ness. On the play, a Gladiator threw a right cross around the referee and hit Ness. Tripping's going to be the call. But if you're a Grizzlies fan, you got to be arguing, why wasn't a roughing minor called on the cross? Unless the referee decided that Atlanta was going to get their saying it. As Nychuk just went around both lines when he popped Griffin Ness in the face. Hey, no penalty on it, though. So Atlanta gets a power play with 9:24 left in regulation. The Ness got the trip, and Nychuk got away with the pop to the face of Ness with his glove on. Nychuk feeds up top. Atlanta's on the power play. They lead 3-0. Nychuk moves to his left. Atlanta's passing the puck around pretty well this series. Nychuk fires lefty shot, and that's blocked before it gets towards Wells. Young behind the net towards the near side. Backhands to Sylvester on the right wing. Up top towards Nychuk. Back to Sylvester. Sylvester slides to the right goal line. As Boudon gets the puck. Now moves to Sylvester back up top. Nychuk over towards Boudon. Now to Sylvester at the right goal line. Sylvester switches places with Boudon. Sylvester backhands. He lost it, but kept control of the puck enough to get in the zone. Boudon got it across, and it couldn't be handled by Young. Nychuk in the left wing. Back towards Young. Across to Sylvester. Right circle. Take a lefty shot. Glove save by Wells. Boy, Sylvester with a quick wrist shot, and Dylan Wells made a glove save about chest high as he holds on to it with 8:33 left in the third and 109 left in regulate, 109 left in the power play. Draws over in the right circle. Both teams switched up skaters. Priest will take the draw against Joey Cipollone. Grizzlies won the draw. Throw it up but not out towards the left point. Atlanta gets it back in deep. Lynn reverses it to the right side. Ryan Nolan moves to keep it in on the right point. They'll throw the puck to the circle. Hans Bukata takes it away. Gillette Tries to muscle his way around Ryan Nolan, and Nolan divorces Gillette from the puck. Both guys wear number 24. Ryan Conroy gets around center ice. Grizzlies build a four-man wall at the Utah line. Conroy dumps it in. Enns will fire it off the glass, and it goes out to center ice. Cipollone across to Lind, who enters. Stops in front of the blue line and dumps it in. As puck goes to the right side. Now up top, Conroy. Over to Cipollone on the right point. Joey Cipollone lays it for Nolan. And Nolan feeds it to the right corner. Gladiators bounce one to Conroy. Over to Nolan just outside the right circle. Nolan fakes a shot, gets to the right goal line. Lind, the net gets dislodged. And the whistle blows with 6 seconds left in the Atlanta power play. So they're going to get the net back in place. Friesen slams the stick on the ice. Griffin S will come out in 6 seconds. As there's 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in regulation. So the Gladiators prepare for life after the power play. And if Utah can get control of the puck, maybe they can feed one towards Ness if the Gladiators' defensive unit isn't thinking about coming out of the box. Conroy wins the draw. He skates towards the right corner. The Gladiators skate around their net, but they've got control of the puck. Ness is out of the box, so join the play. He's out there with Gillette and Friesen. Puck goes to the right corner. Ness gets the puck. He'll nudge it, but turn it over. Scardina dance around in the left wing across to Conroy with the blue line nearby. He'll lay it on a tee. Les with a righty shot saved by Wells. Grizzlies throw it up, but Conroy keeps it in. He spins around Gillette. Conroy now gets around Ness. Feeds it towards Scardina off a Grizzly stick off of Scardina's stick. And Grizzlies will clear it out. Puck wobbles into the Gladiator zone. Less than 7 minutes left in regulation. It's still a 3-0 Atlanta lead. Nobody has scored here so far in the third period. Grizzlies have an edge of 25-21 in the shot count. Shot count doesn't seem to mean a whole lot to whether a team wins or loses, especially among the games we've seen over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Puck back to center ice. Gladiators spread the ice. As Chad Nychuk gains the center red line, tries to step over the offensive blue. Timofeyev took it away from him. But on the back check, Atlanta came back up with it. Boy, Atlanta's back check better than any team we've seen the Grizzlies face all season. Sylvester gets it towards Boudon. He's surrounded by 4 Grizzlies. Now back towards Sylvester in the right corner. He gets knocked down by Manning. Both guys were number 16. Matera cross. Atlanta skates towards the left circle. Nychuk around Wells' net. Feeds it to Sylvester. Right side. He fires towards the chest of Wells. And he collapses and controls the puck with 5:57 left in the third. Atlanta leads 3-0. We'll find out how this ends on the other side. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Well, there's 5 minutes and 57 seconds left in regulation. The Atlanta Gladiators have a 3-0 lead. Nobody has scored here so far in the third period. Grizzlies are 0 for 3 on the power play. Atlanta is 0 for 2. Grizzlies have outshot the Gladiators 25-22. Isaac Walter has 2 goals. Louis Boudon and Cody Sylvester each have 2 assists. TJ Semptenfelter is nursing a 25-save shutout. Shutout, but it only works if Guy Karenza, the Atlanta broadcaster, does it to jinx his goaltender. Grattan gets the puck around center ice over to Lebster down the middle. Lebster veers off to the right. He fires a righty shot, and he goes high over Sempton-Felter. As Manning gets bounced towards the boards. Nychuk gets a stick lifted by Manning, but Nychuk's able to move it ahead. Ryan Francis gets the puck right side, drops down the middle of the ice. Ryan Nolan with a shot, and he scores. Nolan finds the back of the net. So that'll make it a 4-0 hockey game with 5:29 left in the third. So Ryan Nolan now is going back-to-back games in this series. Behind the back feed from Francis down the middle. And Nolan bounced it off the Wells' glove. And it's been another tough night for the Grizzlies here on home ice. So draws going to be at center ice. Nolan with the goal, Francis, and Alex Young with the assist. And the Gladiators are showing why they're most likely going to be 16-5 on the year at the end of this game. And you know that everybody on the ice is giving everything they've got. And you don't like to get outworked. The Gladiators in a lot of games this season, according to Guy Karenza, have outworked the opponent. You don't want to accuse that of being the case tonight, but a lot of the 50-50 pucks have gone the Gladiators' way. Utah wins the draw. Colby Enns fires towards the net, and really the only question now is whether TJ Sempton-Felter is going to get a shutout. He's already got one this season. Shot saved by Sempton-Felter off his right pad as puck flips into the air, dropped near AHB. Now Enns to the right side, fires towards the net. It's blocked by Lind. Enns gets it back, helicopters towards the net, score! I think it's Riley Connors redirecting the end shot. And the Grizzlies get on the board with 4:57 left in regulation. Well, that does it for the shutout bid as Enns fired into traffic from the right point. And Riley Connors got a piece of it, and it trickled past the goal line. So Enns should get an assist. And for Riley Connors, that's his first goal as a Grizzly this season. He had 2 goals in 8 AHL games with Colorado. Bounced off of 2 Atlanta sticks, and Connors was in the area. And Connors gets the goal with Enns and Friesen getting the assist. Friesen has a point in both games in this series. Atlanta comes back. Mickey Burns, right side, his lefty shots off of Felton's stick. Utah around the net. So Grizzlies fans have something to cheer about tonight. And Utah won't get shut out. Gillette, gentle push in a mild arc, and the old biscuit goes out of play into row 1 of section 109. Grinch did not come away with the puck. Looked like somebody else came away with the souvenir. Grinch sees himself on the video board, and he gets more excited than I would be. The fan 2 seats next to him comes away with the frozen vulcanized rubber disc. Riley Connors certainly made a strong impression for the Grizzlies. As a fan chugs a beer, and he's going to slam it over his forehead. He does that every game. I think his name's Scott Hamilton, not the figure skater. Grizzlies out towards center ice. Gansky left wings it to Genev. We'll see if the Grizzlies make things interesting here late in the third. Connors had 5 goals in 13 games with the Grizzlies at the end of last season. Puck back to neutral ice. Gansky with the center red line at his feet. He wobbles it in. Genev left wing tried to get towards Ness, but didn't get much on it. Puck goes out to center ice. Timofeyev gets knocked, and Conroy with a big hit high on Ness. And I bet that's payback for the hit that Ness had tripping. You wouldn't say it's a dirty play, but the referee spotted a penalty. Conroy pumps both palms in the air. You bet, buddy. You hit him high. You go to the box. 2 minutes, Ryan Conroy goes in. He can't believe why. Nowhere near the puck, and it was pretty clear that Conroy wanted to get even on Ness. And referee Emil Sharon saw that from a million miles away. You bet, buddy. He's arguing the call, but that was pretty clear. Away from the puck, and you knew exactly what the intentions of Ryan Conroy was. As a knockdown at center ice, and Conroy, that's a cheap shot. 2 minutes for interference. As Conroy knew exactly, once he saw it was Griffin Ness, he's like, I'm going to deliver one high. He goes to the box. 3:56 left in the third. Get a little bit salty here towards the end of the game. I know I'm a little bit salty. It's been a tough one this year. As puck goes towards the near wing boards. Apologize to the Conroy family, but Timofeyev over to the high slot. Let's see if the Grizzlies can get a power play goal. Lebster centers it towards Grant, and it bounces back towards Lebster. Gets it across. Timofeyev gets the puck. He skates towards the left corner. Now back up top to AHB. Across to Lebster. Now up top to AHB, who's now on the high side. Takes a lefty shot that goes high over the crossbar. Taps off the glass. As Cipollone pushes Manning. The puck goes back to neutralize. Hanson Bukata falls down and on two knees, able to sweep one across. As puck goes back up top, right point. Hanson Bukata keeps it in. Manning back up top to AHB, who has to move to his left. He dives to move a pass out to Timofeyev in the left wing. Left serve to Gratton, who swings and misses. Hanson Bukata cross towards Manning. He'll take a lefty shot that goes high over the crossbar. Timofeyev gets to Lebster up top to Hanson Bukata. Across to Manning. Manning collects the puck, moves it across Timofeyev in the left circle. He's nearby the left wing boards. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. Hanson Bukata up top. Dangling back and forth, gets to the Timofeyev. One-timer saved by Felter. 2:45 left in the third. 4-1 Gladiators. 49 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. Utah will switch up skaters. Make sure to join us tomorrow night for the Grizzlies' final teddy bear toss in team history. Your tickets, UtahGrizzlies.com. Hopefully we'll have a big crowd, and hopefully we'll have a lot of excitement here for the Grizzlies' annual teddy bear toss, one of hockey's great traditions. We'll obviously talk a lot about the teddy bear toss and its meaning during tomorrow night's game. Atlanta wins the draw. Mateer throws it all the way deep into the Grizzlies zone. Felton back behind his net. He's got Ness nearby. Ness gets the puck, skips one rink wide towards Genev. As Genev towards the right side, racing off the ice as well. Is back towards Connors. Righty shot from the left wing is blocked by Felter. Utah's net is empty. It's a 4-1 Atlanta lead. Late in regulation. 20 seconds left in the power play. Friesen on the right side. Dancing back and forth. Gets it to the right corner. As Barbashev gets pushed in the back. Now Friesen over to Genev. Up top to Felton. One-timer. And that one's blocked. Might have been blocked before it got to Felter. Conroy's out of the box. Grizzlies 0 for 4 on the power play. As Genev, right circle, lefty shots blocked. Atlanta gets it. They'll sail it towards the empty net, and it skips wide towards the near side. Icing is on Atlanta. There's 1:45 left in regulation. So both teams have one goal here in the third period. Ryan Olsen made it a 4-0 hockey game, 14:31 in. And then Riley Connors got Utah on the board. Puck bounced off at least one Atlanta stick, maybe two, and then bounced off of Connors. Puck just kind of played plinko and pinballed around everywhere. Connors gets a 6th goal in a Utah uniform. He had 5 late last season. Ends and Friesen with the assists. So Manning will take the draw. Utah wins the faceoff. Gratton drops it back for Hanson Bukata. As Wells is off the ice. Net is empty. Timofeyev left wing. Grizzlies running out of time. 1:35 left in the third. Hanson Bukata dances around, gets it back towards Timofeyev. As the middle of the ice is clogged up pretty good. Timofeyev fires a righty shot. It gets blocked around and goes towards the end boards. Right wing. Lebster fires it off the stick. Hanson Bukata left wing. Reverse the back round. Gratton behind the net. Gets bounced by, that's going to be a penalty on somebody. And it looks like Jarvis got hit up high. It's going to be a Grizzlies penalty on Tyler Gratton. 2-minute penalty as Andrew Jarvis failed to show blood. So 1:13 is left in the third period. Wells comes back on the ice. Grizzlies will work on the penalty kill once again. Utah's penalty kill has probably been the strongest point here tonight. Gratton 2 minutes for high sticking. Time of penalty, 18:47 in. Grizzlies are 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Well, the Utah is 0 for 4 on the power play. Timofeyev, Manning, and Lebster each lead the way before Riley Connors got the Grizzlies' lone goal. Atlanta wins the draw. Just over a minute left in regulation. 4-1 Gladiators. Sylvester dangling back and forth along the right wing boards, which is the near side. Gets towards Louis Boudon, who's got 2 assists. Boudon up top. As Nychuk off his stick, skates towards the left point. Across to Boudon. Boudon with a lefty shot, and it blocks off of the right shoulder of Wells. Boudon gets it in the left point. Friesen nearby. Puck goes in the middle of the ice. Nychuk with momentum. Off of a Grizzly stick. Sylvester up top. As Walter on a hat trick watch fires towards the net wide. Walter has 3 2-goal games against Utah this season. 32 seconds left in regulation. Nychuk, Ness on the back check, but Nychuk will feed it back to Atlanta ice. Boudon gets it around Friesen on to Young. Young back to Boudon, left side. Look to start to Walter. Shot saved by Wells. Everybody hacking away. Gladiators score. And if that's Isaac Walter and you're an Atlanta fan, get your hat and throw it as far as you can. And yeah, it looks like it's Isaac Walter getting his 3rd of the game and 7th against Utah this season. Walter clutching his wrist. There are a few Atlanta fans in attendance, but nobody's throwing their hat. Walter is going to come towards the locker room as he was grabbing his wrist, jabbing the puck towards the back of the net. It went past Wells. And if Isaac Walter plays anything like this against the other teams in the league, get him in the American Hockey League right now. Grizzlies fans are certainly hoping that'd be the case before tomorrow's game. So it's now 5-1. Wasn't really much of a celebration aisle. Walter just kept hacking away 2, 3, 4 times near the groin area of Wells, and Walter is able to find the back of the net. It's a hat trick for Isaac Walter. Louis Boudon and Chad Nychuk get the assist. 7 seconds left. It's a 5-1 Atlanta lead. And Isaac Walters, the number 1 star of the game. He scores 3 goals. The horn sounds, and that will do it. Grizzlies didn't get shut out, though, as Riley Connor scored 15:03 into the 3rd. But it's the Isaac Walters show. TJ Semptenfelter stopped 28 of 29. Louis Boudon scored 3 assists. Cody Sylvester had 2 assists. The Gladiators are now 16-5 on the year. The Grizzlies salute their fans that showed up tonight. Utah is now 11-12-2. And the Grizzlies will look to salvage the 3rd game of the series on Saturday night, and that's going to be the Teddy Bear Toss. Make sure to get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. It's going to be a festive atmosphere. It'll be the Grizzlies' final game before Christmas. And Utah will look to find a way to salvage the 3rd game. That's unfortunately, from the Grizzlies' perspective, the 3rd straight week where Utah will go into the Saturday looking to salvage the 3rd game. I picked a click immediately. He's going to be Griffin Ness, who has 4 goals in his last 3 Saturdays. Well, that will start the post-game report as Isaac Walter is the number 1 star. He had 3 goals. He got on the board 9:39 into the first period with Louis Boudon and Cody Sylvester getting the assist. It was the first of 3 for Walters on the night. He scored a goal in each of the 3 periods. Walters made it a 2-0 game. He scored 11:08 in on a great centering pass from Cody Sylvester. Louis Boudon also got an assist. And then less than 2 minutes later, Ethan Scardina made it 3-0 on a centering pass from Jack Mateer. Scardina got his 2nd of the year, 12:58 in. Mateer and Chad Nychuk got the assists. Atlanta made it a 4-0 game, 14:31 into the 3rd, as Ryan Nolan got his 7th of the year. Ryan Francis and Alex Young picked up the assists. Grizzlies got on the board as they weren't shut out tonight. Colby Enns was in the right point, fired towards the net. It bounced off at least 1 Atlanta stick. And puck ricocheted off Riley Connors and slid past the goal line. Connors scored with 4:57 left in regulation. Colby Enns and Evan Friesen picked up the assist. And then Isaac Walter, with 17 seconds left in regulation, completed the hat trick. He got his 12th of the year. Louis Boudon and Chad Nychuk with the assist. They show the highlights on Flow Sports. There was a breakaway Dylan Wells made a nice save on in the first period. Grizzlies did have some good looks on Semptenfelter. Both teams tried to play a pretty controlled style game. And Utah was able to, at times, get traffic in front of Semptenfelter. And with Tyler Gratton coming back to the Grizzlies lineup after missing 6 straight games, he's going to create that traffic. There's the goal from the right side if you're watching on Flow Sports. Walter just wristed it past Wells, stick side. as Noah Gansky was in the area. Gansky didn't take a regular shift about the second half of the game, as he's still trying to wind his way back into shape. He had a full practice in on Tuesday, but Gansky still working his way back into game shape after missing about 3 or 4 weeks worth of action. First period outside of that Isaac Walter goal is a pretty evenly played frame. Grizzlies outshot the Gladiators 29-27. TJ Semptenfelter saved 28 of 29. Dylan Wells on the Utah side saved 22 of 27. His record goes to 5-6-2 on the year. Semptenfelter's record goes to 8-3. And the combination of Ethan Hyder and TJ Semptenfelter has been about as strong as any 1-2 combination the league's seen in quite some time. So continue showing the highlights. Reed Lepster with a pretty good look down the middle, and he missed the net stick side on Semptenfelter. Play got a little bit physical at times. There's the beautiful centering pass you're watching on Flow Sports. That turned out to be the game winner. Semptenfelter just found Isaac Walter out in front. Walter is listed at 6'4". He feels like he's about 6'6". Sylvester threaded the needle, and then a little bit later, Scardina made it a 3-0 game. For the Grizzlies and their shots, Timofeyev, Manning, and Lepster each had 4. Danny Geneva and Griffin Ness each had 3 shots. 2 each for Evan Friesen. Riley Connors, who scored Utah's lone goal. Those 2 had 2 shots, and a handful of Grizzlies with 1 shot through tonight's game. For the Atlanta Gladiators, Isaac Walter had 3 goals on 5 shots. He was shaking his wrist after he just jabbed the puck. It looked like Wells was laying on his back, and Walter just kind of jabbed at the puck and ended up sliding past Wells. Grizzlies in the third period. There's a couple occasions they got a lot of traffic out in front of Semptenfelter. Not a whole lot of animosity between the two clubs, although a little bit emerged in the third period. Griffin Ness tripped up a Gladiator, and then a few minutes later, it looked like Ryan Conroy saw the Ness was at center ice, and he decided to go after him. There was the trip if you're watching on Flow Sports, and then Conroy got Ness up high, picked up a penalty, and it was probably more for the principle of the referee knowing what Conroy was doing, trying to kind of even up the score on Ness, and I think that was why they called the penalty more than anything else. As I continue with the highlights on Flow Sports, as the fans are heading out in Maverick Center. 3 stars of the game. Third star is Cody Sylvester, who had 2 assists. He was a +3. Second star is the goaltender TJ Semptenfelter. He saved 28 of 29. Connors out in front of the net. That thing pinballed off at least one Atlanta stick. Connors out in front of the net, got a piece of it. Colby Enns has played some pretty good hockey over the last couple weeks as Connors found the celebration aisle. But there wasn't a whole lot of celebrating on the Utah side, as all that did was make it a 4-1 game. And Conroy getting serenaded in the penalty box. And then later on, Isaac Walter made it a 5-1 game. And that's where it sat after regulation. Walter is the number 1 star. 3 goals. He was a +3 and had 5 shots. So for the Grizzlies tomorrow night, it's going to be the final game at home before Christmas. Utah will be on the road for a 3-game set before the Christmas break, 2 against Kansas City and 1 against Tulsa. Really for the Grizzlies, they just got to find a way to buckle down, and Atlanta's a pretty strong club, and so for the Grizzlies, they're just going to have to find a way to control the pace of the game. You know, maybe Utah wants to speed it up a little bit, as Utah is one of the faster teams in the league. Try to get Atlanta on their heels. Utah did have some success offensively on Wednesday against Ethan Hyder and the Gladiators, and they're going to need a little bit more offense tomorrow to get a victory on the Teddy Bear Toss. And obviously, during Teddy Bear Toss night, you know, home teams obviously have a little bit of motivation to try to score early to make sure the fans can get their teddy bears to throw on the ice. The Teddy Bear Toss is going to be tomorrow here at Maverick Center. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. And it should be an interesting one. I'm not sure who the Grizzlies go with in net. Are they going to go with Dylan Wells? Or are they going to go with Kyle Kaiser? Or are they going to give a shot to Casimir Cassiasuo, who signed with the Grizzlies a few days ago? He's got a YouTube channel. It's got over 72,000 subscribers. Atlanta, you know, you talk about some games, your best players need to be your best players, and Atlanta's best players were that. For the Grizzlies, we'll see if tomorrow guys like Reed Lepster, Griffin Ness, Danny Geneva step up, you know, maybe Luke Manning, and I think the Grizzlies are maybe hoping they can get Jack Ricketts and Neil Shea back. If not tomorrow, then maybe next week. The Grizzlies have battled the injury bug and a little bit of the flu bug as well. But the Grizzlies need to find a way to buckle down and get the 2 standings points and protect home ice. Utah is now 2-7-1 here at home this season. Atlanta goes to 7-3 on the road. Well, fans are filing out here at Maverick Center. We might as well head on out as well. Let's see if we can get an update on that Mammoth game. They took on the Seattle Kraken tonight, one of 2 NHL games this evening. That game has 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the third period. Mammoth lead 3-2. Mason Marchman has both of these Seattle goals. Dylan Gunther has made the difference so far tonight. He scored a power play goal, 12:55 into the third. Nick Schmaltz has 1 goal and 1 assist for the Mammoth. The other NHL game, the Blues defeat the Blackhawks 3-2. Interesting story in local college football. Kyle Whittingham retires as University of Utah's head football coach. He will coach the Utes in the bowl game against the Nebraska Cornhuskers on New Year's Eve. And that was a lot of the chatter here at Maverick Center. Luckily, once again, we had a pretty quick game, 2 hours and 18 minutes in front of a crowd of 3,951. It was the Isaac Walters show. He scored 3 goals. TJ Semptenfelter saved 28 of 29. Grizzlies did get a late third period goal from Riley Connors, but it's the Gladiators that come away with a 5-1 victory. We hope you enjoy the broadcast and not necessarily the final outcome. Once again, Atlanta defeats Utah 5-1. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday get to the National Hockey League. Next broadcast of Grizzlies hockey will be tomorrow night, 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.